Oh, Saint us that star-spangled banner waves o'er the lands of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, Megan Ruger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Orleans Hotel and Casino from the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. This is Tough Enough, live on BN Sports USA. Prepare to witness history in the making as a journey to becoming the next future star of MMA starts now. Fight fans, are you ready for a war? The cage is now open for business. Let's get to work. Making their way to the blue corner, Tamika Jones.
It's always good for the gander. Oh, sailor.
Oh, baby, love me right. Let me love you till you get it right.
110 pounds, 5'2", knows nothing about her opponent, which of course is one of the challenges of amateur mixed martial arts. You're flying blind a lot of the time. You can't even go on YouTube and search old fights because there is no old fights. Her opponent making her debut tonight. She's originally from South Carolina, but she's coming into this, I imagine, very confident, but at the same time, you don't really know what to expect, right?
Oh no, you don't know what to expect, but that's the glory of it. So being on this platform and not knowing anything about your opponent allows you to be open and try new things. Whereas if you already know the information or what they do and their styles, it actually, you know, causes you to not want to do yourself and be yourself.
Way to the red corner, Allison Breeden.
Yeah, if you think about the idea of walking into the cage and just how nerve-wracking that can be, and then doing it for the very first time, doing it in the fight capital of the world, doing it surrounded by people that are going to be critiquing your every move, a la us. I mean, that's really a nerve-wracking moment for anyone, right? I mean, you think about doing any sort of competition when you were young in your career, whether it was in high school athletics or whatever it may be, but the idea that your opponent's actually punching you in the face, trying to take you down, and trying to finish you in round number one if possible, it's daunting, I imagine, but at the same time, when you put in the time in the gym, some of those fears go away.
Oh yeah, it's definitely, you know, this stuff feels normal. Whenever you're walking out, you're ready. You train for it all the time. The actual big adrenaline and the actual thing that gets you is fighting in front of your friends, your fans. It's not everyone else, it's the people that you love that give you that huge boast.
And here at Tough Enough, you know, we've seen so many fighters rise through the ranks of women's mixed martial arts and men's mixed martial arts. This is the literal springboard to a future career or a future championship. So, you know, when a fighter is making their very first debut, it's always a special moment, and it's a pleasure to be able to call these fights as they happen.
3 2-minute rounds. Let's get things going.
Ladies and gentlemen, our first bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the Tough Enough Women's Strawweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 1 victory and 0 defeats, fighting out of Syndicate MMA, Las Vegas, Nevada, Tamika Jones. Her opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, making her tough enough debut tonight, fighting out of Extreme Couture, Las Vegas, Nevada, Allison Breeden. Your referee in charge of the action inside the cage is the Joe Sullivan.
Interesting side note about Allison Breeden. She is a teacher by occupation.
Ah.
So let's see if she can take her opponent to school. I was working on that. All right, so Tamika Jones wearing the yellow and the black. Allison Breeden is wearing the black and the red. Only 2 minutes per round, not a whole lot of time to work. And here we see Tamika going in and clinching early on. She was a college wrestler, so I expect her to try to utilize some of those skills tonight. Nice job stifling that takedown attempt early on by Breeden.
All right, what Tamika needs to do is push her up against the cage and control her right there. That'd be good. She needs to switch her position to get there. What Allison Breeden's doing great is putting her head under the chin to control her posture so she can't really go anywhere.
You know, the wrestling pedigree over at Extreme Couture, some of the best in the entire country. So, and knowing that you're coming against a wrestler had to be in her training.
Oh, the type of wrestlers they have over there, Gina Mansley. They have Emily Whitmire. They also have a lot of other, good, beautiful takedown by her.
Nice takedown by Jones there, so she ends up in top position. Got side control right now. Let's see what she's able to do with it.
Breeden trying to turn, but Tamika doing a good job of staying on top of her.
Breeden finds her way back to her feet pretty quickly there. Nice job getting out of that.
Putting her right against the cage, put Jones against the cage and keeping that posture.
Yeah, there's been a lot of pressure from Breeden so far in this first round to keep Jones up against the back, her back up against the cage.
Yeah. Tamika Jones doing good with the dirty boxing right there.
Yeah, nice job with the hands, and then that's the second takedown in this round for her. So, you know, Allison doing a nice job controlling when they are on the feet, but Tamika getting these takedowns, it's got to be scoring some points with the judges, and like you said, that dirty boxing. Nice round number 1 here for Tamika Jones.
It is good. One thing Tamika needs to do is actually figure 4 her leg and trap it inside, because that's going to happen as Breeden has broken out and got guard replaced.
Yeah, those long legs of Breeden, though.
Final 10 seconds, those legs were creeping up.
Ooh.
Jones gets her back, though. This is dangerous.
And round number 1 is done. Tamika trying to get a finish there.
Well
after the clappers it sounded.
That's a beautiful way to end the round in a fight, because you don't really have a lot to go on in a 2-minute round, and she ends up on top in a dominant position, so that looks good for the judges.
Yeah, for the judges, and overall I think she did a very nice job in that round. I mean, Allison Breeden does look to be like a strong fighter. You know, she's doing a nice job controlling her, but these takedowns by Jones really swing it in her favor, in my opinion.
Yeah, we saw 2 to 3 takedowns right there, even though Breeden was able to get up. That was probably the biggest scoring we saw in the round, besides taking the back there at the very end and looking for the submission, as we see right here. And Joe Sullivan doing a very good job to pull that arm off as soon as the clapper hit.
So if you're Breeden's corner right now, are you telling her you need to get more aggressive? I mean, you're pushing her up against the cage, but you got to do more than that, right?
Well, if I was in Breeden's corner, I'd tell her to stop clinching up, because that's the reason why she's getting taken down, is pushing forward. I'd tell her to sit back and use her long range and jab to set her strikes up.
Yeah, we saw Breeden throw a couple of those knees there, too, and it looked prime opportunity for Jones, but it will be interesting to see what she does in the second round.
All right, 2 more minutes on the clock. Again, Jones is wearing the yellow and the black. Breeden is wearing the black with the red in the trunks.
There we go.
And yeah, let's see, Breeden staying a bit more on the outside here, at least for the time being. And she does have a considerable reach advantage, and right now her hands are looking good.
Yeah, she's throwing that 1-2, and that 2's landing.
The best part in the second round is you already got that first round jitters. You're a little bit more tired, so you actually think a lot clearer than in the first round, where you're go, 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 and you have no idea what's going on.
Interesting that both these fighters chose to not take the stool between rounds.
Yeah, they don't want to bring that blood flow to their legs. They want to let it keep breathing, keep breathing.
Jones going for another takedown here. She almost completed it, but Breeden did a nice job.
She's going to get it here.
Out enough, but yeah, she's trying
She got those hands locked.
Oh, there she goes.
She got it.
There we go.
So Jones once again in top position here. She's in the guard. Allison Breeden.
Curious to see how Breeden's jiu-jitsu is. She's trying to throw that leg up, but Breeden, but Jones is just pushing forward. Might have an arm.
She's trying. She got
She's
the arm.
trying.
but it's not extended though. So
No.
yeah, and Jones does a nice job pulling that out after Breeden let it go.
Right here, Tamika needs to push her knee or slide right in there. She needs to figure for that leg so she can't turn.
This is a bad position for Breeden.
Yep, she's gonna get up. Oh, there we go.
Jones once
Trying
again
to take the back.
Yeah. Trying to do in round number 2 what she's able to do at the end of round number 1, and Breeden separates. Let's see if she goes back to those hands.
There we go. Nice.
Yeah, so you hear the corner of Breeden saying 2-4 up. So looking for, Jones is dropping her head down a little bit, looking for an uppercut opportunity perhaps there.
Yeah, Jones is doing good with the dirty boxing right there.
Yeah, she landed an uppercut in that exchange.
So in the last 10 seconds, there should be something of a punch or an attempt of a takedown by someone.
Round number 2
there we
is
go.
in the books.
That was a close round. It was a good,
Yeah,
good round.
that was a close round, but I mean, if I had a gun to my head, I would give that to Tamika just based on the takedown.
Yeah.
I thought that they were both striking with limited success. The striking edge I would give to Breeden, but as far as the actual takedown, I think that would score more points because there wasn't a clear winner when it came to the striking.
Yeah, the early part of the round, as we're seeing right here, we saw those 1-2s being thrown by Breeden. A couple of those connected, but the takedown's probably going to be what's last in the judges' minds as they're deciding to score this second round. Again, in between rounds, neither fighter decided to take the stool. We saw both fighters slow down a little bit at the end of that second round. Not sure if they're conserving energy or,
Breeden looks pretty fresh right there.
Yeah.
I mean, just looking at her between rounds.
Breeden, if I was in her corner, I would tell her it's 1-1. You need to go all out right here in this round to get the finish or to push the pace.
You got to assume you're behind 0-2.
Exactly, yeah.
Neither of these fighters can rest on their laurels, though, right?
Yeah.
Because it very well could be 1-1.
It
It all
could
comes
be.
down to this.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Third, final round. Joe Sullivan, our referee. Packed house here at the Orleans, even for this early fight. Thank you so much for being with us in the 115-pound division. Tamika Jones getting socked right there by Allison Breeden.
Tamika going for that takedown. I would like to see her throw some combos before she goes in for the takedown to push back Breeden's head and posture so the hips would be forward. Good. There she goes, another takedown attempt with a good break off. Breeden's fighting that straight right hand very, very well in this third round.
Big
nice
right.
right hand there. Yeah, and Tamika instantly shoots in, goes for
Oh,
the takedown. She's
triangle.
got
Does
it,
she have a
but-
triangle?
Yeah, she's working on it. It's pretty
Can
tight.
she get it? She turns it over. This is a bad position for Jones. Wow.
Jones getting worked right now. Joe Sullivan is warning her. She's got to keep protecting herself. Right now, she's eating a lot of unanswered.
Oh, she's trying to sneak
She's
out.
trying to sneak out the back. Can she do it?
No.
Breeden's got it pretty tight.
Those fists are coming down. Joe Sullivan's moments away from stopping this fight, probably.
Almost stepped in.
If I were Breeden, I would.
That's
there
it.
we go.
That is the end, ladies
There
and
we go.
gentlemen. What a comeback for Allison Breeden in her debut. Round number 3, she figures out how to get it done.
Amazing. She just kept punching and going after it. I would have liked to see her grab the arm and extend the arm up so she could get cleaner shots, but ultimately it was beautiful setup.
Look, I mean, she's making her debut tonight. Those are things that she'll figure out and learn, but very, very nice job by Allison Breeden, not getting discouraged. The takedown game of Tamika Jones was arguably the strongest thing she had going for her, just ended up biting her because Allison did a great job figuring out how to capitalize on an opportunity. Here we see the action at the end of the round.
Yeah, we saw that right land from Breeden, and that's Jones shot in, but I think she was a little bit dazed from that as we see Breeden just flip her over, get her in this really awkward position, and just keep those fists coming until Joe Sullivan had to stop this fight.
What was very smart is that Breeden could actually feel Jones's weight shift over, so it was allowing her to know, like, I got to move my body so I can get this mounted triangle, and what a successful triangle right there.
Yeah, and she was going for that throughout the fight, right? I mean, when you see her get taken down, it didn't seem like there was enough time for her to be able to complete a move like that. She figured it out. What a great way to start her young mixed martial arts career on a big stage here in Las Vegas. Justin Bernard, our ring announcer, has the official announcement.
Referee Joe Sullivan calls a stop to the fight for your winner by TKO, Allison Standing inside the cage with your winner tonight, Allison Breeden, making her debut tonight, putting her record at 1-0 out of Extreme Couture. You want to thank anybody out here tonight?
I want to thank my coaches and my teammates. Without them, it wouldn't be possible, and all of my friends for their support through the last 6 weeks.
What was the game plan coming in against Tamika?
Stay on our feet, hit hard, use my range against her.
It looked like you connected a few good times. Well, congratulations. We look forward to you fighting again. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner tonight, Allison Breeden.
Missile Crisis himself. It's Julian Marquez, UFC middleweight. Welcome to the booth, my friend. How are you doing? Well, we have an exciting night for you. Thank you so much for being with us here on the BeIN Sports Network. Tonight, Tough Enough, for those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, this is an opportunity for these young fighters to springboard their career in a way that many other organizations can offer. Talk as a fighter yourself in the professional ranks, what it's like for these young fighters to have an opportunity to grow.
You know, having an opportunity inside of promotion is actually going to help you be seen by a lot of big promotions, and it's going to help build your record as well as an amateur. It's going to teach you what it's like to dig it deep in the third round, and it's going to teach you what it's like to face high-level competition.
Hey, Mahoney, we talk about it all the time, right? There is a lot of the important brass, if you will, sitting in the audience on a regular basis.
Absolutely. We see some of the biggest names in mixed martial arts here, scouting out the fighters. This is the biggest stage in the world when it comes to amateur mixed martial arts, in the fight capital of the world. Names like Ronda Rousey, you might have heard that one. She changed the world of mixed martial arts right here in Las Vegas at the Orleans in Tough Enough. She got her start here and changed the world of mixed martial arts, and you never know who's going to be next in this cage.
We have ourselves a lot of exciting fights. These are the future stars of MMA. This is Tough Enough. Here's Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring out our next bout of the evening in the Tough Enough Bantamweight division. Bringing out to the blue corner, Nathan Hallbrook.
This young man is an exciting young fighter. I love to watch Nate Hallbrook compete. He goes by Nate the Great, and so far, Mahoney, what we've seen of this young man in Tough Enough is exactly that. He is a whole lot of fun to watch fight. His record is 1-1, so he's had one goes away and one not. One thing that you can count on, though, from Nate is an exciting fight. This guy comes out and wants to electrify the audience, and he is just dripping with confidence.
He's a very tall, 135-pound fighter. You never know what exactly he's going to do. He is very diverse in all of his forms of attack, and just you know that something interesting is going to happen when Nathan Hallbrook is stepping inside this cage.
He got his victory via a go-go Pilata, Julian. So, I mean, you think about a young man, what a way to start out your winning track record in any sort of martial arts. But mixed martial arts, to get your first victory via go-go Pilata, it's unheard of.
Oh, that's insane, yeah, without a doubt. I think the only person to ever get a go-go Pilata that I've seen live was Vinny Mengelesh inside of the UFC, and he hit that, and it was a very unique move.
There's only been a couple of them in the history of the UFC.
Nick Diaz versus, what was it? in the last Pride here in Las Vegas, 12, 13 years ago.
BJ Penn famously hit one many years ago as well, but it's almost unheard of. And the thing that this young man did that, the level of confidence that it takes to even attempt something like that is unparalleled.
Oh, correct. Knowing your own body, knowing your coaches, knowing your training, that right there is phenomenal.
And the confidence to be able to pull something off like that off in one of your very first fights is exciting. That's why we're excited to see Nathan Holbrook kick off the fights tonight here at Tough Enough.
Nick and Nate Diaz and Wiz Khalifa are his heroes. I love this guy.
Okay.
Let's meet his opponent.
And now making his way to the red corner, Ethan Goodwin.
Ethan Goodwin is just 20 years old, 135 pounds, 5'9", fighting out of Las Vegas, which is his hometown, and training out of Extreme Couture. Also has a record of 1-1. Last victory came in June of 2018, and that was his lone win. So both these guys got wins in their last outing. Both these guys looking to expand on that, build upon that, and put together a little mini winning streak here. Both these guys coming into this, though, knowing they have a tall task in front of them.
Oh, absolutely. And we see Ethan Goodwin coming out with the guys from Extreme Couture, one of the best gyms in the world. We've seen several champions come out of there, including Misha Tate and obviously the namesake, Randy the Natural Couture. A lot of these, some of the best wrestling that you're going to see anywhere in the country coming out of Extreme Couture. So another exciting fighter here in Las Vegas, looking to make his way up the ranks.
And I like this. He said that he just actually quit his job so he could train for this fight and get ready for it. So when you think about a 20-year-old and how seriously they're approaching their young mixed martial arts career, he said, I ain't got no time to be making frappuccinos for people. I need to be punching people in the face. Full-time focus on this moment tonight, so you know it's a big one for him.
Oh, that's perfect. I mean, that's dedication right there. That's what it takes to get up to the next level and to push yourself is all your focus, doing everything correctly inside the octagon and inside the training
Let's
room.
meet the bantamweights.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the Tough Enough Bantamweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 1 victory and 1 defeat, fighting independently out of Las Vegas, Nevada, Nathan Holbrook. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding an amateur record of 1 victory, 1 defeat, fighting out of Extreme Couture, Las Vegas, Nevada, Ethan Goodwin. Your referee in charge of the action inside the cage is the one and only Chris Tione.
That may have been the most majestic weigh-in photo I have ever seen in my entire life for Nathan Holbrook.
Couldn't be more handsome. Nathan Holbrook is wearing the black trunks. Ethan Goodwin is wearing the green trunks. 3 2-minute rounds as we get things going tonight. Goodwin fires back and connects it. It was checked by Holbrook, but that one snuck through just enough where it looked like it kind of stunned Holbrook.
Yeah, caught him on the right cheek a little bit.
Holbrook is a little unorthodox, so it's kind of hard to tell what he's doing. He just threw a 1-2 with a cheek kick at the end of it.
He's certainly a fighter who marches to the beat of his own drummer.
Yeah, and at 135 pounds, he's 6 feet tall, he just looks a lot bigger than most of his opponents. Goodwin definitely sizes up, but still, Holbrook looks like a much bigger fighter.
What I do like about Ethan is he's not trying to rush him. He's taking his time and pacing himself to figure out openings. Holbrook is beating him.
Both these fighters standing pretty tall.
Huge right hand. Goodwin on top. Can he complete this? Holbrook's got the ankle. Goodwin trying to swarm. He's landing more shots. That's the end. Ethan Goodwin gets the victory in round number 1.
What beautiful patience was displayed right there with that right hand. That right there is what he saw. And taking that time off of work to train for this fight truly showed in this round.
Yeah, took his time, figured it out, and landed a huge shot to take out Holbrook. Here it is again. Jab, jab, jab. The overhand on the right. Connects just behind the ear. And when you think about the equilibrium getting thrown out, that's exactly what happened to Holbrook there. He goes down and tries to defend himself. Holbrook is furious that this fight got stopped. Chris Tione absolutely stepped
Chris
into the right
Tione
time.
is a pro, and we saw Holbrook stumble there at the end. He did not have his feet under him. That was a great stoppage and an amazing performance by Ethan Goodwin.
Oh, man, what an amazing performance. That right there helps you build your resume. That right there helps you get tougher fights. I probably wouldn't doubt him taking one more fight and then trying to go for the title, because that was a beautiful display of combination, patience, and IQ.
And at 20 years old, that's, a lot of potential ahead. It's what we love about the amateur ranks, and that's what we love seeing these fighters, put it all on the line and literally risk everything, quitting your job to focus on fighting full-time because you want to be a champion someday.
Yeah, Nathan Holbrook is a handful for anyone, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
we're talking about his stature at 135 pounds, standing 6 foot tall. That's a tough riddle for anyone to figure out. He said Julian, and it worked out great for him. That was a very impressive performance by a young man who's just 20 years old. Like
Very
you said,
happy.
The question is, where does he go from here? I think you're right. He can, talk to the matchmakers here tough enough, say, hey, I want to do one more fight, and then after that, give me a title shot. And from there, the sky is the limit. Nathan Holbrook still sitting on his bench right now. He's talking with his brother, who I think is just telling him, look, I mean, it was a stoppage that you don't like, but you got to deal with it.
And we see Goodwin going over there showing a good, amount of sportsmanship. That's what we love about mixed martial arts, too. There's a level of respect between these fighters and, sportsmanship. You're throwing punches in while the match is going on. But as soon as it's over, you see handshakes and hugs, and that's what we love about MMA.
Justin Bernard, our ring announcer, is standing by again. 20-year-old Ethan Goodwin gets himself the victory tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Insurance. After 1 minute, 11 seconds into the first round, referee Chris Tione calls a stop to the fight for your winner by TKO, Ethan Goodwin.
Very exciting night for that young man at just 20 years old. These are the future stars of MMA. We're coming back to the Orleans in Las Vegas with plenty more action tonight.
At Port of Subs, we have sub thing for everyone, and we do mean sublime custom meals. Want to know how we do it? We offer 4 ways to customize your sub, from a lettuce or wheat wrap to flatbread to turning your sub into a salad. Want your sub the classic way? Port of Subs has you covered with our freshly baked white or wheat bread and savory sourdough. Port of Subs lets you create a sub you'll love and truly offers sub thing for everyone.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Hollywood Smile Dental. Comfortable care and dental services you can depend on.
And now making their way to the blue corner, Matthew Padilla.
Matthew Padilla is set to make the walk here at the Orleans in Las Vegas. Record of 6-6. So when you talk about an amateur fighter that has considerably more experience than some of the other ones that we've seen, Matthew Padilla is one of them. His record on our paper says 3-3. He listed at 6-6, and sometimes it happens in amateur ranks, right? Like there's
Fights get misplaced.
Yeah, it's there's not the official database like you'll see for the professional fighters out there. He is saying, look, I've got 6 fights to my credit, and Temecula, California is where he is from. At 125 pounds, he is 5'7", just 21.
Training with Team Quest, what are some of the advantages of having that many amateur fights under your belt?
Well, it just gives you the experience of being in the cage. It gives you the experience of having the pressure of your friends, your fans, your family, and the judges, everybody around. It gives you ring experience and ring generalship, so you know what to throw and be patient and see different styles of fights.
Been in mixed martial arts for the past 3 years, says he really looks up to the Diaz brothers, which tends to be a theme for us so far this evening, but he loves that they're both hitters, so I expect to see a lot of motion from Matthew Padilla's hands tonight.
Another thing at Team Quest in Temecula, California, that is actually where Sam Alvey trains, and you can see Sam Alvey is in his corner right now. I think he has him listed as his head coach. A lot of great fighters over there in Temecula. We have Sean Strickland that comes out of there, and Dan Henderson as well.
Great camp for sure. Looking forward to seeing this young man fight here tonight.
And now making their way to the red corner, Carlo Unyo.
Carlo Unyo, 39 years young at 125 pounds, also has a good amount of experience under his belt. Hometown is Las Vegas. His fighting style is that of a striker and a grappler. Says he has been conditioning a lot for this fight, and he has been in mixed martial arts since he was just 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
And again, at 39, that's a whole lot of experience that this young man has.
That is right there. That's a lot of experience, and that's a lot of knowledge right there. He's probably been in a lot of different fights to where he understands different styles, different techniques, and I feel like we're going to have a good fight IQ coming out of him.
You know, as we see the sport evolve over the years, guys have been training their entire lives. Years back, we saw guys who were wrestlers become mixed martial arts. Now you've got guys who have been literally training since they were little kids to become professional fighters. And it's amazing to see how the sport's evolved over the last 20 years.
You may have noticed that he's wearing some dog tags when he walked out. He is a military veteran, so he's been around combat a lot throughout the course of his life. And tonight, stepping into the cage here in Las Vegas, proving it to himself. But, you know, a lot of these guys have 35 years down the road from now. What do you want to be? That's actually one of the questions that we asked him. He specifically said he wants to be a trainer 5 years from now. So he's not going, look, I'm 39 years old. I'm trying to parlay this into becoming a UFC champion when I'm 47. No, he's like, I want to be a trainer. I want to help bring up that next generation, which I think is very admirable.
That's just giving back the knowledge that you have to others. He's definitely somebody that supports other people. You can tell.
So the format for this one is 3 2-minute rounds as well. A 21-year-old versus a 39-year-old. That is a significant age gap, right? I mean, literally, he could be his father.
Absolutely.
Yep. 18 years his senior. Let's see how he handles things once they get inside the cage. Carlo Unyo does have a bit more experience, and the guys over at One Fight Team have traditionally gone very hard over the years. You know, and they spar like they're in a fight. Let's see how this one shakes out. Here is Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the tough enough flyweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 3 victories, 3 defeats, fighting out of Team Quest, Temecula, California, Matthew Padilla. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding an amateur record of 5 victories, 6 defeats, fighting out of One Fight Team, Las Vegas, Nevada, Carlo Unyo. The referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Joe Sullivan.
Joe Sullivan is our referee. 3 2-minute rounds. Padilla is wearing the black and the yellow. Unyo is wearing the black and the white. Snap that out there real quickly and then brought it right back. 21-year-old having to weather the storm though here. Going big. Unyo's coming in hot. Again, that jab. So far we haven't seen much beyond that, but that jab looks good. Inside leg kick there.
Williams just likes to put his hands down and just throw it, just moving in, man. I like it. Oh,
that was a low blow.
Obviously unintentional, but that does not change whether or not it hurts.
It doesn't really matter when you're in the position of Padilla right now, whether or not you meant to. Yeah, he's going to need a couple of minutes to think this one through, and he does have up to 5 minutes.
Why don't we see more fighters take the full 5 minutes after experiencing a low blow like that?
Well, usually if it happens, it's going to be happening in the middle of the round.
Yeah.
And if the low blow hurts enough, then yeah, take it if you need it. But if you stop that, then it's going to take the way that.
Is there an adrenaline dump that like will happen if you take too much time in between?
It's not that. You're actually giving your opponent the opportunity to drop down his opponent because he's not. No, he's used to combat.
Yeah.
As we heard earlier. But it's just going to help out right here if he gets back into it quick. It won't allow the tide to turn.
Gotcha.
And also, having had that sort of thing happen to me over the years, I just don't want to think about it anymore. Like, let's just put it in the past and move on.
Maybe move the pain somewhere else.
Yeah, right.
Right now, Uno is keeping everything tight. Holding the guard up high. He's throwing those kicks a lot fast, too. And that's what's
Padilla with a head kick and he's
gone.
knotted him out. This is close. Joe Sullivan stops it in round number one.
wow.
21-year-old Matthew Padilla gets the finish with a TKO.
Beautiful, beautiful setup to that head kick. I didn't even see it coming.
Turns out neither did Unio. We're going to see a replay here, but that one just kind of came out of nowhere and it caught her pretty flush. Padilla obviously thrilled with the way that and Unio is once again upset that this got finished, but watch the action as it unfolds. I mean, bam, just out of nowhere, and these hammer fists. Yeah, he's not protecting himself. I mean, like, he did have the arms up a little bit, but in the amateur ranks of mixed martial arts, we talk about this all the time. Fighter safety is so paramount, right? They're so young in their careers many times. You can't risk these guys taking more damage than they need to. These referees are instructed. They tell these guys from the get-go that they're going to stop the fight, given an opportunity, and that's exactly what happened.
It's perfect because if you watch that, his head was actually bouncing up and down off the canvas to where you needed to stop that quick or else it could have been.
Yeah, you got to remember, if Joe Sullivan didn't stop that, those punches were not going to stop.
Oh, no.
Padilla was going to just continue to rain down hell upon him, like we see here. I mean, he was in a bad position, and he was landing left and right.
And to Padilla's credit, I mean, the flexibility that he displayed there, getting that kick up in such close range, very well done, and that was enough to get the victory. Here is Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 53 seconds into the first round, referee Joe Sullivan calls a stop to the fight for your winner by TKO, Matthew Padilla.
So one beautiful thing about amateur fights and there being 2-minute rounds, you do see a lot of action packed into those 2 minutes. Even with the break there because of the low blow, we see another fight finishing in round number one.
That's good. So what was great on this fight that just it makes me want to come back and bring it up is that how Matthew Padilla came out in a boxing stance and he sat there and traded boxing punches to where Carlos Uno thought that he didn't have any kicks, so he wasn't worried about it, and he was able to set up that head kick.
Out of nowhere. It was beautiful. Beautiful fight and another fun one here tonight.
More on the way on BN.
Don't leave the event tonight without your one-of-a-kind Tough Enough gear. We have event t-shirts on sale all night, 1 for $15, 2 for $20. So don't forget to get yours at the Tough Enough booth on your way out tonight. And don't forget to join us April 6th, right here at the Orleans Hotel and Casino inside the ballroom for our next fight night with Tough Enough. Tickets start at just $25. We'll see you right here April 6th. Big shout out to our friends at Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Our mission is to improve the health of the people we serve. At Anthem, we believe the best healthcare coverage can actually help people stay healthy. That's why we go beyond simply providing healthcare coverage. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Nothing less. From beauty bar to pure, I'm VIP in my blue jeans. Oh, because the city knows my squad is such a smooth team. M3 in the house, all my pretty ladies move with me. Hit the floor and show me what you do in those.
in my blue jeans, I sway in my blue jeans. 30 seconds, all so I turn in my blue. You ask me
Fight fans, make some noise for the Tough Enough Women's Division. Making her way to the blue corner, Chelsea Ray.
Tough Enough has been a longtime supporter of women's mixed martial arts. Mahoney, at the top of the show, you mentioned that Ronda Rousey is, of course, arguably the biggest name in women's mixed martial arts in the history of the sport, and she started right here. But that's not the only name. We've seen a lot of young fighters launch their career, and Tough Enough, even before women's mixed martial arts was being readily accepted by the UFC, there's something that has been done here in Las Vegas for these young ladies. They want to get their career going, and it's been so fun to watch these ladies develop.
You know, about 10 years ago, there was an event here at the arena inside New Orleans. It was an all-women's mixed martial art event, one of the very first of its kind, and Joe Rogan was in attendance that night. It really changed how he saw women's mixed martial art and became a huge proponent of getting it into the UFC. After that, we've seen the rest of its history, and we love it that we have these amazing fighters putting their skills to the test inside the Tough Enough cage.
Chelsea Ray goes by Little Country. She was 5'3", 115 pounds, 29 years old, and fighting out of 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, her corner right now is pretty stacked with Jessie Jess, who fights in the UFC. You have Coach Casey right there, that actually corners a lot of fighters like Lance Palmer, Joe Benavidez, as corners Chito Rivera, Ashley Evans Smith, and then behind you have Dennis Davis from Train Couture. So she has all the tools right now for a great performance.
I'm excited to watch her compete. Looking for that first victory in your young career. Has only competed one time. Didn't go her way, but that's all right. She is here to make it right. Only knows that her opponent is from Arizona, but she has heroes that she looks up to, and of course Ronda Rousey. And she says because she's Ronda blanking Rousey. And as a young lady, somebody to look up to who has turned a passion for fighting into a career in entertainment like very few have, regardless of how hard they tried. Ronda Rousey is certainly somebody to look up to, and she sees herself as a future champion.
Final checks being done here by Chris Ione.
She has been in mixed martial arts for about the past 4 years, so 2015 is when she got things rolling. And, you know, spend some years in the gym, get comfortable with the idea of competing, and then start training like you're going to compete. And here she is tonight in hunting for that first victory. Let's see how things go for Chelsea Ray.
And now making her way to the red corner, Allison Goodwin.
Allison Goodwin, 18 years young. Just old enough to get those tattoos on her arms.
We've had the pleasure of seeing her fight before, and she is a tenacious fighter.
She's a bulldog, man.
She pushes forward. I mean, she eats a lot of punches, but
she'll put her head down and just attack, and she's got
there's no stop.
Yeah, she's got a record that's 2-0 right now. And so this young lady has a style that's working for her.
That's perfect, because right there, you just turned 18 months old, and you're already taking 2 fights. At least can either be 2 months apart or 3 months apart. And that is actually how you want to do a good career. The moment you turn 18, start fighting, and get 3 fights.
She said getting ready for this fight, she's been training over 40 hours a week with 3-mile runs and sprints. And beyond that, her occupation is in a call center. So you know she's got some aggression to get out.
Sitting there behind the desk.
Getting yelled at all day by people, by strangers, just taking abuse. You're like, you don't even know who you're talking to. One day they will.
One day they will. They won't call back there and say,
5 years from now, she wants to be in Invicta. And of course, Invicta is a place where a lot of young ladies end up competing at a very high level, so a fantastic position. Love the fact that she has her goal set on that. She says for many people, she looks at
And you just look at her, you know, as the final checks are being gone over, she's just so calm. You know, I mean,
she looks unassuming, right?
Yeah.
Wait until you see what happens when the bell rings. Like, she turns into a totally different person.
a little Tasmanian devil coming out.
I love it,
firing.
man. Let's bring it on. Here's Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the Tough Enough Women's Strawweight Division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 0 victories, 1 defeat, fighting out of 10th Planet, Las Vegas, Nevada, Chelsea Ray. Her opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding an amateur record of 2 victories, 0 defeats, fighting out of Apex, Tucson, Arizona, Allison Goodwin. Your referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Joe Sullivan.
Well, guys, so far the theme tonight is first round finishes, so let's see if that continues here. Chelsea Ray is wearing the pink. Allison Goodwin is wearing the black. We are underway, and Chelsea Ray comes out firing. Knew what to expect, perhaps, from her opponent. Chelsea Ray almost stole the strategy away from Allison Goodwin there.
That right there could definitely be a shock for someone if you're expected to come out there like a gun and you end up having someone come pressure you. Doing a beautiful job against the cage right now, putting her forehead into her chin. Yeah, good job, Chelsea. Throwing knees into Goodwin's stomach.
See Goodwin trying to get off this cage, but Chelsea Ray just applying so much pressure right now. Goodwin still remaining calm, though. Trying to find a way to get her back off this cage.
So Goodwin needs to pick a side and run her feet. Oh, doing good. She needs to keep circling and not circle her back towards the cage. If she picks a side and keeps moving her feet, it's hard to hang on, but she's keeping her feet standstill.
Just past the halfway mark of round number 1, so 53 seconds left in round number 1 for these ladies to do work. Let's see if this develops beyond this, because so far Chelsea has done a nice job controlling the posture, but outside of that, just throwing these short little blows, not a whole lot of theatrics just yet for the judges to kind of latch onto. So,
but doing a good job of just holding pressure against Goodwin. Goodwin, like we said, is a bulldog. When she has some room, she will push forward. But Chelsea Ray is doing the exact same thing to her and landing some shots to the body, which are certainly going to take their toll over a course of 3 rounds.
Yeah, she's landed a lot. Chelsea's landed a lot of knees to the stomach, and that could definitely take away Goodwin's oxygen and take away her breath. So this right here is a grueling first round for both.
My goodness, are we going to see a round number 2?
Chelsea Ray just landed a 1-2 right there.
Yeah.
She's pushing forward. Uh-oh.
And round number 1 is in the books. We will see a second round, but those last 6 seconds, something almost happened there, right?
I
like
mean, it could have changed. That tide changed real quick right there. There's no quitting Goodwin right there. You saw that she was looking for the finish even with just seconds left.
That's perfect. That just shows to Chelsea, hey, you better watch out because I'm still here in this game. It doesn't matter what you do. I'm looking to win regardless.
So this is the action from the beginning of the round. Like we said, we expected Goodwin to come out and do what Chelsea Ray did. And I think Chelsea Ray knew that, so she came out. And I mean, look at the anger in her face even as she's throwing those
But Goodwin
strikes.
did a good job keeping her hands up. And a lot of those, they landed, but they didn't land super flush.
If I was in Goodwin's corner right now, I would be telling her to circle. She's going straight back. That's putting herself into the cage. And if I was in Chelsea Ray's corner, I would tell her that when she's against the cage, she needs to put her forehead under the chin of Goodwin and sit there and keep her posture straight up so you can attempt into the takedown and take her to the ground.
All right, cage doors are closed. Round number 2, 2 more minutes on the clock, and again Chelsea Ray comes out firing. Big knee, couple of big strikes in there as well, and she's got Goodwin up against the cage. Let's see if Goodwin, she's circling away.
I mean, they are just jockeying for position. This is expending a lot of energy on both sides. But Goodwin pushing forward, trying to control Chelsea Ray.
Goodwin showing good cardio and good strength right now. She is fighting back, but Chelsea is getting that posture against the cage right now, trying to put her forehead into Goodwin's chin to straighten her up so she can land her strikes.
And Goodwin looking for that hip toss, gets it.
She gets it. She's in top position right now in the guard of Allison Goodwin.
Chelsea needs to push that
it.
knee. Oh.
Yep, yeah, and she does. She pushes the knee down. So in the half guard now, looking for side control.
Still got some time to work.
Yeah, and Goodwin has yet to find
her rhythm.
Yeah, just when they're on their feet, there's just no space here. And now Chelsea's able to posture up, land a couple of punches. As it goes back to the feet, very impressed with how many shots that Chelsea is getting off in such close quarters.
Yeah, she's a very, very active fighter. And, you know, it's almost a contrast in styles. You know, you look at the face of Goodwin, and she looks very calm and composed. And Chelsea just looks mad.
She looks ready. She
Yeah.
has been waiting for this. Again, back to the cage position, putting her forehead into the cage. Amazing
Another hip
toss.
toss there. Another good look from Chelsea Ray.
We haven't seen Goodwin off her back too much in prior fights, so this is a new place for her.
Yeah, and she's got that knee right on the chest, too. And Goodwin is just, again, eating a lot of punches and not able to do much with it. Final 10 seconds here of round number 2.
Is she going to be able to get a takedown here? Nope. Going up, and that is the end of the second round.
I love how Goodwin, at the end of both rounds, she's still fighting. She's still pushing, showing that you better respect me regardless.
She pushes forward. You know, she is a tough fighter, and she's run into a very tough fighter tonight in Chelsea Ray. Chelsea Ray has expended a lot of energy. We saw her land a lot of shots, and, you know, this has been a fantastic first 2 rounds for Chelsea Ray. If you're in Goodwin's corner right now, what are you telling her?
If I'm in Goodwin's corner, again, I would tell her to circle because Chelsea is going straight forward. I would tell her to start putting her jab out there and throwing punches back.
And if you're in Chelsea's corner, are you telling her to do anything different or just continue the plan as it's been through the first 2 rounds?
Continue the plan how it is. She is throwing the long punches and closing the distance very well and pushing it straight into the cage and controlling the cage posture.
Well, it's the 3rd and final round, so if Goodwin is going to change things up, this is the time to do it because at least on my unofficial scorecard, she's definitely down 2 rounds to none. So she's got to figure out a way to change the course of this fight if she wants to keep her young 2-0 record perfect.
I would like to see, something's happening in the cage.
Yeah,
right
so there's a little bit of water in the corner.
And
so they're just
timekeeper
gonna-
signal to Joe Sullivan. Make sure that, you know, this is for the fighter safety. They don't want anybody to accidentally slip, you know, turn a knee, blow a knee, or anything along those lines. So, you know, good eye there from the timekeeper, Troy Mazzagatti, signaling Joe Sullivan, and we're going to get this 3rd round underway here shortly.
I would like to see Goodwin lower her level as Chelsea pressures forward and go in for the shot. And we'll see how it comes.
I mean, they
And
both
again,
run to the center.
And Chelsea gets the better of the exchanges, though. I mean, Goodwin does a nice job covering up, but Chelsea's figuring out how to get those punches in there.
Again, Chelsea's doing a great job against the cage, putting her forehead into the chin, controlling the posture of Goodwin.
And this has really been the key for Chelsea Ray in this fight. I mean, she's had some very nice moments where with the hip tosses, getting the takedowns, but really this moment right here, again, is what we've seen in every single round, and she's been able to control the vast majority of this fight from this position.
She's been controlling the pace of this fight, which has been very, very important.
Yeah, really stifling Goodwin's ability to mount any sort of meaningful offense.
And what we've seen from Goodwin in the past is, you know, she needs that space so she can push forward. And having the same thing done to her and a great game plan from Chelsea Ray's corner and her team to, you know, scout out what Goodwin has been known for in the past.
Yeah, and Goodwin does drag Ray to the ground there, but Ray instantly back to her feet. And she throws a knee in the process. Another one there. And now Goodwin once again, she's got her down.
And this is where Goodwin shines. She's going for that back.
Beautiful lat drop right there to go take the back.
And she's got the back almost. Let's see if she can jockey in this hand fighting to get that arm underneath that neck. Chelsea right now covering up. 40 seconds left to work.
Chelsea's doing a good job of finding the cage.
That choke's
she's got
in.
it.
Is she going to be able to get it under the neck? It was under there for a second. Joe Sullivan watching very, very closely. Just about 25 seconds left.
She
She's
rolls
turning
her
her over.
Let's see. The arm.
It looks like Chelsea's off to the side. She's got in the air.
She's catching a
She's
breather.
good.
She's going to have to reposition, it looks like, right?
Yeah, she will have to reposition.
Yeah, but it's close. It's close to being tightened off. So she's trying to work that hand onto that bicep right now to complete this choke.
Yeah.
But you're right. Chelsea right now in these final seconds just rolling like a crocodile trying to stay out of this rear naked choke. And Goodwin's not giving up
crank.
on it. That's the
Oh,
end.
wow.
of the
Beautiful
fight.
round, ladies. Beautiful.
The time expires. Goodwin, I think, thinks that the referee stopped it, but really that's not the case. The clock stopped it. And so very nice outing there in round number 3 by Allison Goodwin figuring out how to mount some offense. But ultimately, I've still got it 2 rounds to 1. I think
I'm with
Chelsea
you right
Ray's got
there.
the victory.
That was an amazing third round there for Goodwin. If there had been a couple more minutes left in that round, she could have gotten the finish. But Chelsea Ray, those first 2 rounds was just completely dominant. I can't see the judges scoring it another way.
I do not see it. I see it a perfect unanimous decision, 2-1. Chelsea again with the dominant cage control, as well as Goodwin and the third round coming out there showing like, hey, regardless of what the outcome is, I'm here to show you guys that I can be in this cage.
Great game plan from Chelsea Ray's camp, and I mean, this is what we were used to seeing from Goodwin. This just bulldog. Once she gets her opponent on the ground, that she looks for those chokes. She throws some ground and pound, and she sticks to them like glue when she's able to get there. But for Chelsea Ray, luckily she was able to prevent that for those first 2 rounds.
Here is Justin Bernard with the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tough Enough is brought to you by Glenn Lerner Injury Attorneys. After a 3-round war, we go to the judges' scorecards for your winner. By unanimous decision, the blue corner, Chelsea Ray.
Yeah, I think the judges got it right on that one. I mean, in the third round, Goodwin was able to finally mount some offense, and as we said, when she got things going, she's a lot to deal with. In this case, though, Chelsea Ray came out every single round, firing on all cylinders, very aggressive approach, and it worked for her. Never in that fight did it feel like things were going the way of Allison Goodwin until that third and final round in that last 60 seconds.
It's a beautiful display for her. She's only 18 years old. She took a very tough fight, and she's learning right now inside the octagon. 3 fights in at 18.
And that's what mixed martial arts, amateur mixed martial arts is all about. It's about learning. It's about advancing your career. It's about, taking something away from every one of these fights. And that was a fun fight to watch.
Let's meet our next fighters.
Let's bring on our next bout of the evening, making their way to the blue corner, Mason Icabelis.
Mason Icabelis is 5'6", 131 pounds, just 21 years old. Lists himself as a freestyle fighter. Got into mixed martial arts when he was 15 years old, so has been preparing for this moment for the last 6 years. Does have a lot of experience under his belt, though, so 6-3-1 is what he listed at. We have it as 5-3-1. Either way, you're looking at 9 or 10 fights at just 21 years old. This guy's putting in the work. I mean, it's getting to the point where you got to think with a good performance here, maybe one beyond that, starting to think about moving into the professional ranks and giving it a go. If you feel like you've got enough experience, 21 years old is a great time to make that jump into the professional ranks and potentially build yourself a very meaningful career.
Yeah, it's perfect. As you see in his corner again, it's a more Team Quest. We have Sam Alvey, which earlier his teammate fought, Matthew Padilla, fought in there, got a TKO victory. So I believe we're going to see another form of boxing coming out in this round. He's going to show the boxing, and if he does show some leg kicks, I don't think we're going to be ready for it.
And Team Quest, much like Extreme Couture, which was an offshoot of Team Quest, who originally got their start in the Pacific Northwest. But we've seen such good fighters come out of those camps. One of the original mixed martial arts super camps in Team Quest. Relocated down to Temecula with Dan Henderson. But a lot of good fighters coming out of there, and it's always inspiring when you see your teammate win earlier in the night.
Oh yeah, it's definitely motivational. It gets you up there and gets you ready to go out and perform.
And now making his way to the red corner, Humberto Duarte.
Humberto Duarte. He looks like he could be in a soap opera, right? Like he's just got that chiseled chin. He's just a handsome guy.
Any man would wish they had that jawline.
Right?
I mean, that can cut anything. That is beautiful.
29 years old. Hometown is Tucson, Arizona. Apex Mixed Martial Arts is the camp. 130 pounds at 5'6". Also a lot of experience, so 9 fights to his credit. Nice job by the matchmakers here at Tough Enough, putting 2 guys together that are in the amateur ranks but have a whole lot of experience. So 9 fights to his credit. Last fight didn't go his way back in November of 2018, so looking to get back on the winning track tonight.
That's perfect. He took some time off to figure out what he needs to improve in his game, and now he's back here again. We just saw his teammate fight in the last fight, Alyssa Goodwin, and you can see in her style that she's ready. She was coming out here to not give up, and I feel like it's going to be the same thing with Humberto. He's coming out here to get the victory, and he's not going to give in.
Yeah, we see two guys who are looking to go pro, both in phenomenal shape with phenomenal camps behind them. There's a reason why they chose to be on the televised version of the Tough Enough fight card tonight here at the Orleans in Las Vegas, Nevada.
By day, he is a maintenance technician for Burger King. He loves spending time with his family. He's got 3 boys and a wife at home. So at just 29 years old, this guy already has a whole lifetime of experience as a parent with 3 kids at home, as well as, obviously, like I said, a whole lot of fights. He knows that his opponent is well-rounded and tough. So interested to see these two mix it up because they both look to be in phenomenal shape. Both of them have aspirations of making it to the UFC one day. And like you said, Mahoney, both come from very strong camps. So the coaching and the training has been right, getting ready for this moment.
I'll tell you what, I don't care who you are. Getting slapped before you go into your fight is a whole nother level of confidence. Having your coach hit you to warm you up to get out there in the cage.
Here is Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in a Tough Enough catchweight bout at 130 pounds. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record, 5 victories, 3 defeats, and 1 draw. Fighting out of Team Quest, Temecula, California, Mason Icabeles. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding an amateur record of 3 victories, 3 defeats. Fighting out of Apex, Tucson, Arizona, Humberto Duarte. Referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Joe Sullivan.
3 2-minute rounds are format, and I imagine this one also is going to move very quickly tonight. Quick touch of the gloves, jab by Duarte, followed by a right hand that connects a bit, but these guys both swinging hard early on.
I like the movement Duarte is doing. He's not staying in one spot, moving side to side, which doesn't allow Icabeles to find himself right there.
Icabeles landed that left as he pushed forward, trying to get Duarte to the ground. It's interesting we saw Duarte switch stances a couple times there as well.
Yeah, Duarte has a good frame over on Icabeles', well, not anymore, but he had a good frame to push him off. Good way to turn the fence right there. Looking to grab a single leg, owner's level.
And Duarte recognizes it and gets that trip. But Icabeles does a good job reversing it right there. This is a bad spot for Duarte up against the cage.
Yeah, he's
like
got
that. It's just awkward.
For a moment, he had the crucifix there. I mean, you see that Icabeles is very experienced on the ground and knows where he wants to go, but Duarte fights his way back to his feet.
Yeah, Icabeles landed a couple nice lefts there as Duarte was skidding up.
See, Icabeles, there you go. He had the right mindset of having, when his butt was on the cage, he moved his feet. So the same thing as Icabeles right now needs to move his feet. He can't just stay flat and try to fight. He needs to keep moving side to side to get himself off the cage.
Big knees there from Duarte, and Icabeles certainly feeling those. Shoots in for another takedown, has a single leg, elevates, and what a slam.
Oh, but this is a bad position.
Is he going for an inverted triangle right now?
Yeah, I think he's trying to figure out if he should go for that. Like, that all just happened so quickly. He's just adding some punishment to the body of Icabeles. Final 10 seconds here of round number 1. I think he'll probably be content just to ride this out. Icabeles, not so much the case, so trying to do something with it, and he pops that head out. Nicely done there by Icabeles.
That was a close round.
Very close round. How do you see that?
That was. I think that the last takedown by Humberto actually helped out right there, or by Icabeles, it helped out. But
yeah, the elevation seems significant, right? If you look at the way that Icabeles was pressuring throughout the round as well, Duarte did a nice job of minimizing the damage. But ultimately, I mean, when they were exchanging punches, it was very close. And that big elevated slam, I think that'll resonate with the judges more. So unofficially, I will give Icabeles round number 1. What say you, Mahoney?
It's a close fight. I could see the judges going both ways because there was a lot of damage done by both. And after that big slam, we saw Duarte, threaten with the, with the triangle, the inverted triangle right there, even though he wasn't really close to being finished. But, they may score that, adds some offense. in those judges' minds. But these two fighters both very evenly matched in this first round.
I'm just happy I'm not a judge and I'm just commentating.
Yeah, right. It's a lot easier when we can just sit here and tell the judges that they made the wrong decision after they actually have to render a real decision. Round number 2, so far a very fun fight between these two. Sullivan reminding the guys, no elbows. Here we go on to round number 2. Quick touch of the gloves. Outside leg kick from Nick
Beautiful
Bellis.
leg kick.
Goes high that time, checked.
Moving side to side, Icabellis is. Ooh.
Yeah, so Duarte is, like you said, moving side to side. Icabellis is a bit more stationary, and Icabellis, I'd like to see him put some combinations together. He's throwing the big haymakers, but he's not really setting those up just yet, and because of that, Duarte sees him coming.
Duarte's landed a couple good leg kicks, too. I wonder if that's, affecting Icabellis right there.
I would like to see both of them utilize the jab a little bit more. There we go. I like to see that because it's going to help set up openings. You're going to see those leg kicks come. You're going to see those power punches come. You know, if all I have to worry about is one power shot, I'm going to be able to move. Good combination.
We're seeing these guys throw everything with a lot behind it, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I love this weight class, the fact that, they can throw so much power and throw so much of it.
A very different round here. Icabellis not looking for the takedown. While there, he went for a shot, and Duarte saw it coming a mile away and just scooped him up after he almost fainted at it, and then decided to commit to it and ran right into the waiting arms of Duarte. And now
looks like he's going to lift.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
there
tried
we
to
go.
elevate and lift.
Well, he landed inside control.
Either way, he got the takedown there,
Yep.
so he
Great
completed
way to
it.
pass.
Yep. And Duarte inside control. 25 seconds remaining here in round number 2. So let's see what Duarte is able to do with his side control.
There he goes, utilizing those knees right there. What Icabellis needs to do is use that cage to help him get up right now and use everything he has to get up, because right here it does not help him to try to fight and guard.
Yeah, this is a good place for Duarte to finish the round. Getting that takedown, finishing on top, definitely leaves an impression in the judges' eyes as the round ends. Another close round, but I think Duarte.
I think you're
pulled it out.
exactly right. Yeah, I mean, it looked like a stalemate up to that point. It's very difficult to decide, and then that last 70 seconds or so, I think, definitely swung the round to Humberto Duarte.
Right
Very
now,
nice job.
in both of these corners, I will tell them, hey, look, we are 1-1 right now. We don't really know who's in the head. Whoever needs to do this, we have 2 minutes left. Go all out, put pressure, and get the takedown, or go and throw combinations.
If you think you are down going into the third round, knowing that you need to finish, is there? Do you feel like you're going to take more risks into that third round, knowing that you need the finish, or do you leave it up to the judges?
Absolutely. It's high risk, high reward. You don't ever want someone else to determine your fate. You want to be in control of it. So going out there, giving it a your all. If it doesn't go your way in that situation, so be it. But you do not want 3 people to decide your fate.
To their credit, both these guys look to be in phenomenal shape. Going into round number 3, both look fresh. I'll be curious to see who comes out with the heightened sense of urgency. Final 2 minutes on the clock for these two gentlemen.
2 different rounds that we saw.
Oh, big
wow.
right hand there.
Beautiful.
Icabellis connects.
Yeah, but Duarte ate it, and his feet still seem to be under him.
And that uppercut from Duarte just missed, too. I don't know if you caught that as Icabellis was coming in. Duarte threw a big uppercut, and it just missed him. Oh,
Duarte
man.
is bleeding out of his nose right now, so that punch definitely landed very
it
solid.
may have broke his nose, man. That hurt him. I mean, it hurt him, but he showed a very strong chin.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I think that it did break his nose because you notice he has his mouth open now.
This is bad.
He's breathing through his mouth. So even though this round is only 2 minutes, it's going to seem like a long 80 seconds here for Duarte.
Oh, he catches him
Good
again. Joe
combos.
Sullivan keeping a close eye on this.
That's exactly what you need to do when a leg kick happens. You need to capitalize on it and do not let them get away with a free kick.
Yeah, Duarte is definitely in some peril right now, but he is throwing like, he's doing everything he can. A lot of power behind every one of those shots. He's still got a minute left in this third and final round, but he has taken some damage so far.
Good setup for that shot.
Yeah, and if Icabellis can get a takedown here, this is going to be a really tough spot for Duarte.
Yeah, you can just see a little bit of distress, and he's definitely in some pain right now. I mean, he's trying to fight through it and do everything that he can, but Icabellis is putting a lot of pressure on Duarte right now, especially if he's going to be rubbing that, rubbing his head into his
nice
nose.
hip toss there. That is a big moment for Duarte. So as you see Icabellis pushing forward, Icabellis makes his way back to his feet, but that was a nice hip toss.
These knees on the against the cage are actually super powerful, and that could definitely add up. But being short in the round,
this is going to be tight. Final 10 seconds. Let's see if we get a flurry here. And that does matter. Icabellis gets a hip toss of his own. And that is the end of 3.
Wow, what a beautiful fight. What a beautiful IQ combinations that were thrown, as well as grappling. The grappling, and
we saw this fight take place all, standing on the ground. We saw two very well-rounded young fighters. I think Icabellis got it. I think those big shots, those were the difference in the third round. The damage done to Duarte's face is certainly going to leave a mark in the judges' minds.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the actual damage that was done in round number 3. It's the broken nose. So right there was that shot. Just a big right hand, well-timed, pow. After the fact, they're still swinging for the fences. And at some point, I think that Icabellis probably could have taken his foot off the gas a little bit because he was feeling good about how that round was going. That wasn't the case, though. I love that he kept that intensity throughout the entire third and final frame there to try to seal that victory, and I think that Icabellis figured out a way to get it done.
He did. He went out there, and he's trying to finish the fight. He wasn't trying to leave it to the judges, and it showed right there. That right hand was devastating. Even the ones that were missing, you could feel the wind come off of those. They are just powerful shots. What a beautiful display of fighting tonight.
So the two fighters in the cage. Justin Bernard is standing by. Here he is with the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a 3-round war, we go to the judges' scorecards for your winner. By split decision, the red corner, Humberto Duarte.
Interesting.
I'm not going to take anything away from him because Duarte went out there and fought his heart out. I think the judges got it wrong.
I was going to say, I could see this fight being a split, but I think it should have been a split towards Icabellis. But, both these fighters, warriors, put it all out on the line. And as you said, you don't want to leave this fight in anybody else's hands because it can go the way that you don't want it to sometimes.
That first round was super close. The second round was very decisive, and the third round was. So it's tough when you have 2 minutes to display.
We're coming back on BN.
All right, fight fans, don't forget to join us April 6th right here at the Orleans Hotel and Casino inside the ballroom for our next fight night. Tickets start at $25. We'll see you right here for more future stars of MMA. And another big shout out to Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Our mission is to improve the health of the people we serve. At Anthem, we believe the best health care coverage can actually help people stay healthy. That's why we go beyond simply providing health care coverage. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. And now we bring out the Tough Enough featherweight division. Making their way into the blue corner, Johnson Nasona.
All right, let's do this thing. Johnson Nasona, 17-3 as an amateur, 145 pounds, fighting out of Seattle, Washington. I mean, you talk about experience. This young man has 20 fights. If you have a good performance tonight, let's take this thing pro, man.
It's time to move up. Yeah, definitely with that, you know. But again, you can never have too much experience going to pro because, you know, the moment you turn pro, everything goes away.
I mean, if you look at amateur boxing, you know, some of these guys have 40 fights in amateur boxing before they turn pro.
Worth noting that he's just 24 years old. So he's 24 years old. He's got 20 fights under his belt. 17-3. The last fight that he had was in August of last year. Did not go his way. So it took a little bit of time, like you were saying earlier, to reset a bit. But, I mean, this young man at 145 pounds is chiseled. Look at that guy. There's not an ounce of fat on him.
And he is tall as well. Long, lanky, strong. You know, it's going to look like a good fight tonight right there.
I mean, to amass a record on any level of 17-3 is very impressive.
Yeah, so it's funny to see these body styles changing over the years. You know, it used to be kind of like the shorter, stockier wrestler type would do really well.
Matt Hughes, Matt Serra.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Yeah, even
Sean Shirk.
Even the BJ Penns of the world. Now you see kind of that John Jones body style starting to come out for a lot of these younger fighters that are in their late teens and early 20s that are starting to make a run at it. Because if you have that wrestling base, or you just have been training in jiu-jitsu a long time, able to avoid the takedown and initiate some of your own, you don't have to just be a wrestler. You don't have to have that wrestler, the traditional wrestler body type. If you've got that long wingspan, it is such an advantage. Really excited to watch this young man compete. Let's meet his opponent.
And now making his way to the red corner, Alec Aragon.
So Alec Aragon fighting out of Extreme Couture. Like, he looks like such a nice young man. That's about to change.
He is very tough once he gets inside this cage. He is currently undefeated. I mean, and his wrestling is top notch.
Yeah, it's off the charts, and he mixes in some really brilliant striking with it as well.
Absolutely.
So, like you said, Mahoney, 4-0. He's got a perfect record. He's just 22 years old. So also somebody, if he comes out tonight and beats a guy that has 20 fights and has a very impressive resume, I think that's a huge springboard for him to potentially take
You're
things
either
to the next
fighting
level.
for a title or you're going pro.
Yeah, one of the two. You know, this is a huge step for him, you know, being undefeated 4-0. This is going to help it out. But, you know, the best part about his camp, you know, being with Extreme Couture, they believe in him. They know there's something inside of him that if he releases it tonight, he will shine through.
Yeah, he said that he has been training and eating, and that's it, getting ready for this fight. Again, another young man at just 22 years old who has committed his life to mixed martial arts. He is doing this full time. This is his occupation.
In phenomenal shape, you know, and we're seeing, you know, kind of a mix-up of body styles going up against each other, and it should be a fun one between these two.
You got your long, lanky, possibly striker versus it looks like a grappler if you're looking at looks right now.
Let's meet our fighters. Here's Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the tough enough featherweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 17 victories, 3 defeats. Fighting out of Marcelo Alonso, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Seattle, Washington, Johnson Nasona. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding an amateur record of 4 victories, 0 defeats. Fighting out of Extreme Couture, Las Vegas, Nevada, Alec Aragon. The referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Chris Tione.
Chris Tione making final checks right now. Cage door is closed. 145 pounders set to go this evening. Nasona is wearing the pink. Aragon is wearing the blue. Here we go. Let's see how these guys set up their strategy. Aragon has this beautiful combination where he'll throw an overhand and then shoot in and get that takedown. Just go straight for the takedown, and Nasona did a nice job of not allowing that to happen yet, but Aragon is relentless.
Yeah, Aragon is a bulldog in years past.
Very calm style from Nasona there.
And Nasona's got quite a bit of a reach on Aragon.
Nasona's playing the high hand. As you can see, they're both in an open stance. One's left-handed and one's right-footed. So he's playing the high hand with the jab to set up that cross. As he's playing, see he's moving he's moving Aragon's left hand outside to set up that right. It is beautiful. Good.
Yeah, overextended himself a bit on that one, but nice recovery. Aragon rushed in, and Nasana has Aragon pushed up against the cage right now.
Yeah, we've seen Aragon start off a little slow in times past. He gets hit once or twice, and then it becomes a real fight for him.
Yeah, he's very explosive. So if he sees an opportunity, he's going to go after. He's going to go after it hard. But like you said, when you've got an opponent that has a reach advantage, and right now it's a lot of jockeying for that foot position. Whoever gets that lead foot where they want it, it could be what determines his fight.
And it's a fighter with 20 fights under his belt too. Nasana is very experienced. Aragon remaining calm, though.
Oh, a couple of flying knees there that just glance off the side of Aragon's head. And Nasana has him pushed up against the cage once more.
Aragon needs to move his feet and shoot out towards his butt side. All the pressure's going forward. He needs to pick a side and not try to trade right there.
Final 10 seconds on the clock for round number 1. Let's see if Aragon goes for a toss here, tries to get a takedown. No, he does not. So round number 1 comes to a fairly anticlimactic finish. I'm curious your thoughts on this, Julian, because in round number 1, we haven't seen Alex Aragon start out slow for an entire first round. I didn't think that he really found his rhythm just yet.
If I was in his corner right now, what I'd be telling him, hey, you have to start throwing feints. You need to have Johnson to flinch. And when he flinches, it's going to open up opportunities to throw your combos or to get your takedowns. As you can see, Johnson has been sitting there parrying the outside hand and actually like shadowing punches. That's actually helping him out and opening up his straight punches, his straight shots against Aragon. So right now he's got to pick up the tempo. He's got to pick up the pace. He has to get in his face, or Aragon has to get into Johnson's face, because at this pace he's not going to get the decision he wants.
Johnson, Nasana, I think, took that first round. I'm curious to see if we see Aragon come out and be more explosive, as you mentioned, in the second round.
Yeah, and so it looks like maybe a little water spill. They're going to clean that up, but I don't know if you caught that. Johnson Nasana, very relaxed. He was actually dancing in between rounds. So certainly not feeling the pressure, and as you'd expect after 20 fights in the amateur ranks, certainly feeling very good, but he's got a whole lot of swagger and confidence to him right now that there's a little bit of just too much moisture on the back of Aragon there, so he's just wiping it down. 2 more minutes on the clock. Chris Tione rings it back in, and we're back underway.
Playing the high hand. I see him going to get ready to throw that straight left.
Yeah, and Aragon just trying to find an opportunity to step in, but it seems like he has a lot of respect for the power of Nasana.
Nice inside leg kick that Aragon landed, but he got caught from Nasana.
Yeah, Aragon turned to try to escape, and the kick just wasn't intentional, but it just so happened to go right.
These things happen. You got guys throwing kicks. Nobody throws these intentionally. We're going to see
I've seen a couple of guys over the years. It was maybe a little intentionally.
Well, you do get one.
You get one.
One mulligan, right?
Yeah. Sometimes you get 2.
Yeah, depends.
Depends on who it is.
Or if you're actually golfing with Mahoney, 1 every hole.
I paid for those.
All right, we're back to it. 90 seconds remaining here in round number 2. Not a lot of time to work, and still relatively slow pace. Nasana there with a head kick.
Yeah, it looks like Nasana's just figuring out that range, man.
Yeah, it seems like Nasana's doing a nice job of controlling this fight by keeping it at distance. Aragon not really able to do what he normally does, which is set up those shots and go in and get a takedown. And so far, Nasana just frustrating him.
Nasana is just showing a lot of, feints and a lot of movement that is actually frustrating.
The histrionics, it gets in your opponent's head. When a guy looks like he's having fun, right?
Yeah, it's the show right there. That right there, that show, it looks appealing to all of us, but it gets confusing to Aragon right there. Again, if he wants anything to do, he can go for that hip toss, or he has to move his feet, pick a side, and get himself off to the corner, because being against the cage and just staying there is not helping him out to win this round.
Down to our final 20 here in round number 2, and Nasana continues to pick it up, just throwing a lot of punches and bunches, doing a nice job attacking the body of Aragon, and more than anything, stifling his ability to mount any offense.
He's controlling where this fight is taking place.
Yeah, normally this is kind of the wheelhouse of Aragon, where he does a really nice job of controlling the body of his opponent, but Nasana is just not giving him an opportunity to do that. So round number 2 coming to a close here, and Nasana very much in control. I have that 2 rounds to none.
I'm with you right there, and Nasana showing a lot of strength. You know, he's a very, very strong young man. Looks like he may have got clipped there.
He's in the corner there smiling, laughing, still standing up where Aragon's sitting down. You know, you could see the frustration in his face right now. But what I would like in this round is, you know, Nasana to actually, you know, push forward, push the pace, and go for a finish. You know, I feel like he's just playing around in there, and I feel like he has more to offer, and he's not trying to show it.
Yeah, no, it's an excellent point. And now that he's up 2 rounds to none, I'm curious if maybe he's going to not be so concerned about the takedown, right?
But that right there is scary, because if you try to sit back and like, oh, you know, not think that anything can happen at any point in time, Nasana can, you know, get caught with something.
Absolutely. Aragon certainly has that power in his hands. But, I mean, again, look at the confidence and swagger of Johnson Nasana right now. Like, he just looks like he's untouchable.
That's a man who's been in there for 20 fights.
Yeah.
He's really having fun.
He's hopping back to the center, and like you said,
it's another day.
Just always keeping something in his face, in Aragon's face.
Aragon did connect a little bit there, and Nasana just smiles at him. Another head kick.
He's got to keep his hands up, though, because Aragon does have that power.
Nice.
There it is. Oh. We've been waiting for Aragon to explode this entire fight, and he just hasn't had a chance because he's been stifled by Nasana. And here we go. We see Nasana turn him back around, put Aragon's back up against the cage, and, you know, this has been the story of the fight so far.
This is good pressure by Nasana. I mean, he's well-rounded. He's mixing his knees up, mixing his shots, moving his body, moving his head to keep Aragon constantly guessing.
It's a smart fight from Nasana. It may not be the most exciting fight that you've ever seen, but this is a very, very smart fight that we're seeing from Johnson Nasana.
I mean, I love it. As you can see, Nasana is sitting there showing the left knee and then drops it hard to pick up to the right knee. That's creating a lot of power for his right knee. It's actually loading his hips up correctly. And these are costing and getting points.
You know, I mean, cage control is very important, and we just saw it there. We saw Aragon push out of that corner, expend some energy there, and when they came close to the back of this side of the cage, Nasana just turned it around on him.
20 seconds left in this fight. If there's any time, Aragon trying to find an opportunity to punch, but Nasana is just overwhelming, and he won't stop smiling, which has got to be driving Aragon crazy. He just seems like he's having so much fun in there, and he's so relaxed. Final seconds of this fight. Nasana continues to control Alex Aragon.
It's beautiful to watch Nasana's like display. It's beautiful to watch his composure in here. It's actually, it may not be exciting to some, but it is amazing to watch and to see his technique.
Yeah, I mean, this guy looks like a professional basketball player playing against a high school player in the sense that, like, he looks so experienced, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not taking anything away from Alex Aragon, because if this ends up being a loss for him, it'll be the first loss of his career. But Johnson Nasana looks so ready to go to that next level.
Oh, yeah, he is ready for the next level. But the best thing about Aragon is he's an amateur that took a high risk to go against a guy with literally 16 more fights than him.
Yeah, 5x your experience, yes.
Now he knows what he needs to work on, that cage work, that feint work, the combinations, and his combinations to get into his takedowns.
So it goes the distance, a full 3 rounds, and in my opinion, each round easily won by Johnson Nasana of Seattle, Washington. Getting back in the win column, I'm sure, is important for him. But I'll say it again, this kid absolutely looks ready to go to the pros. How do the judges see it? That's, of course, the most important thing. We have disagreed at one point in the night. Let's see how they rule this one. Here's Justin Bernard.
Tough Enough is sponsored by the Neck and Back Clinics. Ladies and gentlemen, after a 3-round war, we go to the judges' scorecards for your winner. By unanimous decision, Johnson Nasana.
There you go, Johnson Nasana getting himself a victory tonight, now 18-3. Here he is inside the cage with Justin.
Standing inside the cage with your winner tonight, Johnson Nasana. How great does it feel? 21 fights. Now that moves you to 18-3. How great does it feel to win in Las Vegas?
It feels amazing, honestly. Every single place that I go, in that fight. I mean, new fans and gain new friends, and all of the above. It always just feels great to start a new adventure in a different place.
Well, you look solid inside the cage tonight. What's next for you?
We'll fight for a title here next time. Let's all make weight and get it in. Take the belt home.
All right, roll the dice. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner tonight, Johnson Nasona.
So it sounds like he's got title hopes in his future. I'd like to see that young man compete again, certainly. Johnson Nasona getting himself the victory tonight here at Tough Enough.
Let's bring out the title fight of the night. Making his way to the blue corner, Sariq Shields.
All right, it's time for the strap to be on the line. Sariq Shields fighting out of San Diego, California. 3-0, can win himself a title tonight in the 170-pound catchweight division.
Looking very stoic as he makes his way to the prep point.
He's a taller guy, you know, at 170 pounds. He's just over 6 feet tall, but he has been a wrestler most of his life. So we talked about that same thing with the body styles changing and getting more conducive to being complete mixed martial artist. A guy that stands 6 foot tall, only tips the scales at 170 pounds, but looks very complete, healthy, and muscular, but has that wrestling base. It's a great build in mixed martial arts.
You know, we've just seen the purses and the viability of becoming a professional mixed martial artist change. These guys are pure athletes, and you know, in years past, he might have gone into MLB or gone into the NFL as a wide receiver. But now we're seeing that these guys, you know, mixed martial arts paying millions and millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars in Conor McGregor's case. And so, you know, we're seeing these new, like you said, these new body styles from these athletes, and it's really changing and evolving, and it's wonderful to watch.
Just 23 years old, he serves in the Navy. Will he win himself the welterweight title tonight? We are about to find out. Final moments before he enters the cage.
At 3-0, already jumping up to a title fight, that speaks a lot of volume right there.
Let's meet his opponent.
And now making his way to the red corner, Joshua Quinlan.
Joshua Quinlan, very similar body style. So he is also 6 foot tall at 170 pounds. He is 26 years old, fighting out of Las Vegas, Juan Fight Team, and he's got a perfect record. So Quinlan, who we've seen compete here at Tough Enough before, gets himself an opportunity to win that gold, 5-0.
And, you know, in competing for a belt here in the Tough Enough Fighting Championships, you know, eyes are immediately on you if you become a Tough Enough champion. You know, the big leagues, the professionals all start taking notice, and they look at what you can do, and they want to pay you.
And his fighting style is exciting. His last fight was against Ryder Newman back in July of 2018. Got himself a first-round TKO against Ryder Newman, who is a tough guy.
Very, very tough.
Been training at Juan Fight Team, got to mixed martial arts about 5 years ago in January of 2014. Really loves Max Holloway, says that he respects that he represents God and Hawaii, and in 5 years from now wants to be competing in the UFC. And win or lose tonight, one thing is for sure, he's got a tremendous head of hair.
I mean, beautiful.
Just majestic.
I'm so jealous.
It's so nice.
I wonder if he has any product in it, because it's just flowing.
Right?
Perfect.
Look, yeah, it's so well done.
Just natural.
All right, our title fight for the night. Here is Justin Bernard to bring in the fighters.
Tonight's fights are sanctioned by the ISK, President Corey Schaefer, in attendance, Nevada State Director Carlos B. Canton, timekeeper Bridget Mazzagatti, and our judges Kate Sider, Kathy Little, Mike Bland, and Mike Chavez. To the thousands in attendance and the millions watching live on beIN Sports USA. This is a title fight scheduled for three 3-minute rounds, all for the Tough Enough Welterweight Championship of the World. Fight fans, it's about to go down. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 3 victories, 0 defeats, fighting out of Victory MMA, San Diego, California. He is a challenger, Sariq Shields. Standing across the cage in the red corner, holding an undefeated amateur record, 5 victories. Fighting out of One Fight Team, Las Vegas, Nevada. He's the reigning, defending, undisputed, tough enough welterweight champion of the world, Joshua Quinlan.
I know I shouldn't say this.
Your
I
in
think
charge
this
of the
ends in
action
one.
inside the cage is Chris Tayoni.
Well, we've got 9 potential minutes, right? 3 3-minute rounds, but
If you want to touch gloves, do so now. Go back, get ready to fight.
the way that they are staring at each other across the cage is intense.
It is intense.
Look,
And
they're chomping at the bit. Chris Tayoni just had to tell them both to back up.
took some words out of Mike Tyson's old motivational speech. Do not take your eyes off your opponent, and that is definitely what Josh Quinlan did not do.
So Quinlan defending the title tonight. Tariq Shields, also a perfect record. A lot on the line for these two in an early scramble.
Uh-oh.
Quinlan's got him on the ground.
Gets up nicely, though, but man.
That crossface is just brutal, but look at this.
That
Shields
was
now
so-
has the back.
That was
Beautiful
slick.
shook by
Oh,
him.
my God!
Beautiful toss. That one hurt. You can tell that hurt Quinlan.
Quinlan is
he's still
He's
wobbling.
out, I think.
He's still in it. He's still in it.
Oh, my God.
Wow, Shields slams him again, and you're right. When he picked him up, elevated him, and basically suplexed him here. But look at this. Quinlan now turns the corner, and he's the one delivering the punches.
They're sitting there fighting in a bulldog position. Oh, beautiful.
This is unbelievable.
I can't believe that Quinlan recovered that quickly. I mean, obviously he's in phenomenal shape, but I thought he was out on his feet.
That was Fedor Kevin Randleman asking. He's going for his own suplex.
Oh, man.
Oh, he tried to. Shriek Shields tried to go for a little roll forward, and it didn't go in his favor.
Looking for that choke. Can he get it?
Right
Shields
now,
is fighting those hands, though.
Shields doing a great job of fighting the hands and trying to stand up. Right now, Quinlan just needs to get positioned before he goes for all these strikes.
There it
He's
is.
got the back.
He's got
Oh,
the
it's
back.
tight.
Shields
He got
out.
out.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Now he transitions to full mount, though. 55 seconds still remaining. And Quinlan rolling, trying to get the back again.
Oh, he's going to scoot the ice cream and get on top. There he goes.
Beautiful.
Good.
Beautiful transition there by Shields.
Yep, Shields ends up in the guard of Quinlan, but in top position. He's now trying to pass himself.
Shields needed to put Quinlan's head against the cage and posture up and let some punches rain down in the last 30 seconds.
He's trying to scoot, get through to that mount, and Quinlan reverses. Now he's in top position. What a first round.
Quinlan's connected. He landed 2 big shots right there. Another one.
Yeah, and Shields is still able to take him, but he's taking a lot of damage right now. Quinlan's got him up against the cage, and he is getting those threaded through very nicely. That one opens up the face of Shields. Shields rolls over, still taking a lot of punches. Will he survive this onslaught?
Oh, good peek out.
Back
right
to
there.
his feet. Hip toss from Quinlan. And he gets right to full mount, and now Shields eating more punches. Unbelievable.
Oh. Keeping that position right there. Ending the round on top will be great for Quinlan. Starting the round off, getting rocks. Not looking so good for him, and coming back super strong.
Final 10 seconds here of round number 1.
Knocking the mouthpiece
Oh, he's
out
bleeding
of
Yeah,
bad.
and he has really opened up. So Tayoni watching it very closely. Quinlan with nice restraint there, not completing that last punch. Shields took a whole lot of damage there in round number 1. Quinlan unbelievably somehow managed to survive that, right? So Quinlan, because you can't train for that, right? He gets elevated and suplexed like that with just such a huge blow to the back of his head.
That was such
and then
a
he's
scary.
eating so many punches. Yeah, right, like that sort of thing where I really worry about the fighter's
Absolutely.
safety.
This is definitely right here is where it's going to be a dig deep for Shriek Shields. Is he's tired. You could see that burnt a lot of his energy out, going out there and giving 100%. You know, being only a couple fights in, he wasn't able to control that. Where you could see that Quinlan has been controlling the pace. He's been controlling himself, only going at his style. So right now, we're actually going to see what Shriek Shields has in the second round. because, again, he has 3 more minutes of that same exact pace.
That was one of the most exciting rounds I've ever seen in amateur mixed martial arts or mixed martial arts in general. I did say I only thought it was going to go 1, but we just knew it was going to be an exciting one.
You know what? I don't think you were inaccurate. There's plenty of times where that fight could have ended in round number 1. What a furious pace between these two. So what's happening right now is they're going to call the doctor in to take a look at the nose of Shields just to make sure that it's not broken. And
he just spit it right in his face on accident when trying to talk to him.
Oh, did he?
Well, I mean, he probably doesn't even realize there's blood in his mouth.
He said I'm fine, so he wants to continue.
What a tough guy.
I think the doctor is saying that it's broken.
No, he can't continue it. I think he's shaking his head saying no. We'll see.
No, he's going to let it continue.
He said no, it's okay.
Oh, man, there it was again. So in replay, just seeing how aggressive these slams were. Wow. We are back live now. Round number 2 is underway. Blood dripping down the face of Sarek Shields, and Quinlan once again, furious pace. Wow, caught him with an uppercut and then a hook.
Beautiful. Quinlan needs to set up those kicks because you don't want to get caught with a random punch at the same time you're kicking.
These guys are letting it all hang out, man. This is wild.
Beautiful.
And they're right in front of us right now.
Blood flying everywhere.
There goes blood all over me.
Good thing you wore a red suit.
Yeah, it's blending in.
I mean, this is wild.
Right here, it's just a brawl. They're not trying to set up anything. They're trying to hurt each other. You know,
these are 2 warriors. I mean, just trading blow for blow. Shield slowing down a little bit, but still coming back with that right.
Yeah, it's like every time that you think the tide is turning against one of these guys, they just fire back. And it's just, I mean, look at Shields right now. I mean, his mouth is open because his nose is pretty clearly broken. There's blood in his blonde hair, and still, it's just a slugfest. This looks like a scene out of a movie.
He looks like he could be an extra on The Walking Dead right now.
As you see, what's great, Quinlan right now isn't putting a lot of power in his punches. He's just going there to touch him because he can see that Sarek Shields is very tired. And a little flick hurts just as much as a hard punch.
And these are longer rounds that we're seeing because this is for a title tonight.
Yeah, Joshua Quinlan, our welterweight champion right now. Shields trying to come in and pull off the upset, win him the gold tonight. So this is a bad spot. So about 80 seconds remaining in this one. That is the end, ladies and gentlemen. Joshua Quinlan remains the Tough Enough welterweight champion. What a performance. Wow. What a dramatic comeback after that slam. That was unbelievable.
2 suplexes, unbelievable.
I mean, when you say you're worried about the fighter's safety, when he got elevated like that and came down right on the back of the head and the neck, I was terrified what was going to unfold in those couple of seconds. And Shields swarmed and tried to finish him, and to his credit, like, he's so conditioned, he recovered so fast after taking another suplex after that. Joshua Quinlan moves to 6-0, retains his title. What a performance.
I mean, just looking at these replays, man, what a war between these two. And this suplex right there puts Shields in a bad spot, and Quinlan just is relentless and goes for that finish and gets it. We saw the mouthpiece of Shields get out there, and Chris Tione on there quick. Like we said, that suplex, shades of Fedor and Kevin Randleman. We saw Fedor put on his head, come back and won that fight. We saw that with Quinlan, retain the title, and what a way to just finish this fight off.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're Quinlan, right, you're now 6-0 after a fight like that. You go to anyone and say, here's my demo tape. They are going to be impressed because you can take some punishment. You can clearly dish it out. Your opponent looked like he got run through a buzzsaw by the end of the fight. At the same time, your opponent is incredibly tough. You just dished him his very first loss of his entire career. That was an awesome fight.
Man, and what I like the most about Quinlan is the entire time, even after almost being finished, you know, the ref almost came in there when he was got thrown and was getting those punches, is that he remained calm. He picked his shots. He didn't try to go out there and throw haymakers and try to keep pressuring. He was picking every shot strategically and putting it in the right spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute, 39 seconds into the second round, referee Chris Tione calls a stop to the fight for your winner by TKO and still Tough Enough welterweight champion of the world, Joshua Quinlan. Tough Enough is brought to you by Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Presenting the belt is Chief Operating Officer Olivia Smith.
So Quinlan right now exchanging some handshakes with his opponent. He will talk to Justin Bernard.
Standing inside the... Standing inside the cage with your and still welterweight champion of the world. How great does it feel?
Feels great, you know, a good comeback, but I have to thank God. He brought me through, you know, some adversity, but hey, I want to thank everybody here, my whole fight team, my family, in Hawaii, my teammates, as well as everybody at the gym. Fighters or not, we all train hard together. We all get each other better. And I just want to thank my sponsors, Veterans Vitality, CBD Company, as well as Extreme Manufacturing. They really supported me through this. And, you know, thank everybody to come out, and really want to thank my number one Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Well, it's been 8 months since you got the belt, and you're not a champion until you really defend your belt, and you did that tonight. It looked like you got rocked with a couple of slams to the cage. You got up, you recovered, you regrouped, and it looked like your wrestling, your defense was great. Who do you got to credit to that?
I have to credit my older brother, Daniel Quinlan. He's a wrestler, and he got second in the state. When he was back in wrestling, he really passed it on to me. And I have to thank the wrestling program at One Fight Team. Everybody trains hard there, and a big family over there. So if you want to get your kids involved or come get some martial arts, One Fight Team, thank you God.
All right. Congratulations on your win. We look forward to defending your belt again. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner tonight, Joshua Quinlan.
That's what it's all about, the future stars of MMA. And his hair still looks fantastic at the end of all of that. How
Even
about it,
better
guys?
than when he walked into the cage somehow.
How is that possible?
I
so
want to see
jealous.
that product. I want to know what he has in there, because
Yeah, right.
there's no way that it can stay like that after that kind of a fight. You know,
After two suplexes?
Yeah, congratulations on getting the victory. What are you using in your hair, sir?
What are you?
We need to get you in there interviewing him, Julie.
Is that Murray's pomade over there? What do you
Oh,
got?
man, that was fantastic. All right, we have got more fights on the way. What a great night so far here at the Orleans in Las Vegas.
Who's ready for more fights? Make way for the Tough Enough featherweight division. Making his way to the blue corner, Christian Hermosillo.
Christian Hermosillo is on the way right now. He has got an impressive record himself. 3 victories, no losses, and 1 draw. Last fight was the draw. That was back in August of last year. Said that at 21 years old, he feels ready for this big moment. He's been in mixed martial arts for the past couple of years. He said, I prepared very well, ready to kill or be killed.
Oh, wow.
It's quite the quote, right?
Ooh, that's intense.
He likes listening to music, watching movies. Other than that, it's kind of all about competing inside of the cage. Favorite fighter is Fedor, and he said that he knows his opponent is a wrestler, and he's going to be ready for that.
International, fighting out of Tijuana, Mexico. One of the things we've seen from Tough Enough, we've had fighters from almost every continent in the world here performing, putting their skills to the test.
Yeah, and I love it, man. I mean, a lot of these guys have to, come out of their own pocket in order to, do their training camps and then make the travel to Las Vegas. And it's not an easy experience. It's not something that's for the faint of heart or the timid. Like, you really have to be willing to invest in yourself in order to get to that next level. But as these young fighters know, getting to this point, getting on this stage, there very well could be UFC brass sitting in this crowd tonight taking notes. This has been, I've seen it happen before, where the matchmakers of the UFC will be watching these fights, actively texting and taking notes on who impresses them, because this is a breeding ground. So seeing these guys being able to really explode their career by taking a chance on themselves is fantastic. So Christian is in the cage right now. Let's
and now
meet his
making
opponent.
his way to the red corner, Timmy Kuamba.
Timmy Kawamba at 5'10" and 146 pounds is just 20 years old, fights out of Las Vegas, a freestyle fighter, fights out of Drysdale Jiu-Jitsu.
I mean, Drysdale Jiu-Jitsu, Robert Drysdale, one of the most beautiful Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners on the planet.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be, the classic striker versus wrestler. I mean, he's actually coming out right now wearing a wrestling shirt. Obviously, you were just mentioning Drysdale's and how well they prepare their fighters. And on the other hand, Christian Hermosillo really loves to use his hands. So who will get the advantage early on? Excited to see.
You know, who's going to come out with the pressure and push the other person? You know, I would like to see who's going to keep the range, but ultimately I feel as if that Timmy being a wrestler, he's going to come out there and he's going to put the pressure on there and get the early takedown and then try to go for a submission. That's a good game plan if I were his coach.
20 years old and 21 years old, so two young fighters that both see themselves in the UFC in the next couple of years.
Literal future stars of mixed martial arts here tonight at the Orleans, part of Tough Enough.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, giving these guys an opportunity, but it all comes down to the moment they get to compete. And here we go at 145 pounds. Justin Bernard with the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the Tough Enough featherweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 3 victories, 0 defeats, and 1 draw. Fighting out of Entrum Gym, Tijuana, Mexico, Christian Hermosillo. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding an amateur record of 2 victories, 1 defeat. Fighting out of Drysdale, Las Vegas, Nevada, Timmy Cuamba. The referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Joe Sullivan.
All right, back to the format of 3 2-minute rounds. This one should be a whole lot of fun. Hermosillo is wearing the red trunks. Cuamba is wearing the white and the black.
Hermosillo looks really relaxed right now. Really relaxed, where Cuamba looks very intense.
Yeah, Cuamba's like a spring.
And Hermosillo, again, loves to strike. So this is where he shines. But Cuamba's doing a nice job of getting in and getting out.
I like how Hermosillo's putting not 1 but 2 punches, 2 to 3 punches together.
He's got his hands clasped.
Let's see how he does against this takedown defense against the cage.
Hermosillo trying to do his best to stay up against the cage. Makes Cuamba break that grip.
Yeah, and these are important moments early on in the fight. Who's going to dictate the pace here? Who's going to control things? Cuamba known for his wrestling, known for his great takedowns, as well as his jiu-jitsu. But if he can't... Okay, so Joe Sullivan saw something there on the other side of where our commentary booth is. Saw a grab of the fence by Cuamba. And
it was a good little check by Hermosillo. Moving his head.
Yeah, and Cuamba's pretty... Not a lot are connecting, but pretty deliberate with the striking, and then a nice trip there. Gets the fight to the ground.
Beautiful inside trip. Now, I'd like to see Hermosillo stand up right now and try to use his hip. He has his guard open, so you can tell he's not just trying to lay there. So
Cuamba keeping heavy on top of him, though. But we're seeing Hermosillo try to get to the cage to wall walk, but Cuamba is tough on top.
Cuamba's doing something really great. He's actually having control of Hermosillo's right hand and actually pinning it to the ground, not allowing him to stand up, which when he released that, it's giving that opportunity for Hermosillo to use the cage to stand back up and posture up.
Tries to roll.
Cuamba is just all over him right now. Round number 1 comes to a close, and I think Cuamba ended up sealing it there in the last 30 seconds. You know, gets that trip, ends in top position, raining down punches. I think that certainly sealed it, at least in my opinion. But if you're Cuamba right now, he looked pretty good on his feet. Are you encouraging him to instantly try to take this fight back down to the ground?
I guess I would like it, because as you can see, it's a much easier fight for him to be on top, and it's actually going to frustrate Hermosillo. So I would tell Cuamba to actually use a little bit more feints, because when he was doing that, Hermosillo was flinching to it, and it was opening up the chance for the takedown and also opening up the chance for the strikes as well. So Hermosillo needs to stop trying to throw these haymakers and these wilds, because it's getting him off balance. He needs to start setting up his jab and utilizing that to get his right hand to land, or his leg kicks or his head kicks.
Round number 1 is in the books. We have 2 more minutes on the clock for round number 2. Again, unofficial, but we gave round number 1 to Timmy Cuamba. Let's see if he can keep this thing going. He was able to get that wrestling on showcase after he got that trip, but it took him a little while to get there. Let's see how Hermosillo approaches this as well.
Look at Hermosillo's left leg. It is swollen red right there.
Oh, man, yeah, he has taken a lot of damage from that outside leg kick.
He's taking power.
Kwamba's just really quick, too.
Very fast, elevates, slams, gets into the ground within the first 15 seconds here of round number 2. So again, this is where Kwamba wants this fight to be, and he's got him pushed up against the cage.
He's doing good. Best thing to do right now for Kwamba is to pinch his knees. And what Hermosillo needs to do is get his body left and right, start moving.
Kwamba's starting to land a lot of punches here.
To the body, those ribs. He's just beating him up with that left.
He's keeping that butterfly, but right here he's kind of just hanging on. He needs to move his feet and try to scoot his body up and get his knee to the cage to get the stand up. But Kwamba's doing a great job at doing head positioning and pulling his legs away from the cage to hold him down there.
Just driving with that head into the jaw of Hermosillo there.
Trying to go in for a deep sweep.
Yeah, he's got the crucifix too to a degree. He's got that arm pin back, but Hermosillo spins.
Back.
Now he's looking for the back.
Beautiful technique right there. You could see the Drysdale schooling has helped him out right there with that transition.
And now he's got the back, 40 seconds to work here.
Well, because Kwamba's taking his time right now. He knows he's in a dominant position. He knows he has his hands locked. He knows he's winning right now, so he's not trying to go crazy with strikes.
Got to watch the back of the head there. Joe Sullivan warns Kwamba with those hammer strikes.
Trying to go for the roll to come out that back end again.
Oh.
Doing good.
Trying to pop that leg out so he can go to the full mount. More big hammer punches raining down that leather. Hermosillo eating a lot of damage right now. Joe Sullivan watching closely as these final seconds tick off. And round number 2 is in the books.
Beautiful.
Very impressive from Kwamba there.
Oh, it was. It was beautiful positioning the entire time. When he had him against the cage and he took him down, he had his head positioning to keep Hermosillo down. He was pulling his legs. He was grabbing his wrist to not let him get any post at all. Hermosillo this round needs to come out with a little bit more intentions of straight punches, setting up his shots, and actually going to commit. I would go away from the leg kicks because that right there is what got him caught into that takedown and elevated.
And we saw, as we see here in the replay, we just saw how active Kwamba was when he had an opening. I mean, he was very, very active that entire second round. Just gave Hermosillo no chance to really mount any sort of comeback or offense in that round.
Yeah, it is good right now. We're going into the third round. Hermosillo needs to go all out right now if he wants to come back, because I believe he's down 2 rounds.
Yeah, he's got to get a finish here, right?
Yeah.
So Kwamba, though, looks, as you mentioned, Mahoney, very fast, very deliberate, has a game plan. It's working for him right now. So Hermosillo is going to have to find some way to really upset that.
And even just the body language of the two is just drastically different. And I think that we've seen that be represented in this fight so far.
Yeah, you know, Chael Sonnen said a while back is that you have to match the intensity of your opponent. You have to. If your opponent is super intense and going hard, the only way that you can beat them is match the intensity or keep up with their pace. Because right now, as you can see, Hermosillo is not able to match the intensity, and Kwamba is just constant pressure. Go, 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 go. And the moment he stops, Kwamba capitalizes.
Just moving forward constantly from Kwamba, and it's benefited him so far. You know, we see Hermosillo in a familiar position that we saw in the last 2 rounds. Kwamba on top and landing blows down.
What's amazing is Kwamba is actually trapping his legs, figure fouring his legs, or Kwamba is figure fouring Hermosillo's leg so he can't straighten it out, kind of like Khabib did to Conor McGregor to keep him there in the posture. Now, even though Hermosillo is getting all these punches, he has to frame out and throw his knees to the ground and try and stand up. He cannot sit there and trade the punches because he is in an undominant position at the moment.
So final 40 seconds, Hermosillo, is he going to be able to do anything here to try to turn the tide and possibly pull out a miracle victory? Because right now, Timmy Kwamba is all over him trying to put this one away. Very dominant position, and so far a dominant fight from Timmy Kwamba.
Yeah, Timmy Kwamba is just showing the wrestling and jiu-jitsu level that he has, and it is on another level compared to Hermosillo. And Hermosillo's not doing bad. It's just that constant pressure is, you know, adding up.
It just wears you down, and then that's what we've seen in this fight so far. This is the story of the fight.
Some of the best fighters right now, Khabib is doing this same exact stuff to all of his opponents, and it's very hard to answer.
Round number 3 comes to a close. Well done, Timmy Kwamba. We'll see what the judges have to say, but that was a clinic. Round number 1 took him a little while to get going, right? But then as he got into round number 2, 15 seconds in, he got a takedown. By round number 3, it wasn't nearly as clean of a takedown, but he just went over there and he just relentlessly went after it. Even though it was a bit of a sprawl from Hermosillo, he just stuck with that single leg until he got it, and it was the story of the fight.
Drove and drove and drove and drove and got it.
I believe that Kwamba was actually landing the better strikes and putting the better combos together. You know, he knew where he was throwing his punches, and Hermosillo wasn't doing bad. He was putting good combos together, but he was just kind of throwing them to throw them instead of focusing on a target to land. Beautiful display, though, of grappling. Beautiful display of cage awareness as well.
That was a fun fight. Timmy Kwamba, very, very impressive here tonight. Looks like he could go another 6 rounds, too, you know?
Yeah, it just looks so fresh. You know, I love to see these guys who come in that are obviously very prepared for the moment in front of them. I mean, they come in, and like you said, yeah, they're doing 2-minute rounds, but they know how to deal with that adrenaline dump. They don't get overwhelmed, and they go out there and have a game plan, stick to it, and then it just works out perfectly. It's a lot of great preparation, time put in here in the gyms here in Las Vegas, working with great coaches and a great team, and you reap the rewards when you put in the work. And you know, Hermosillo looks like a very promising young man. This is the first loss of his career, so goes back to the drawing board a little bit, goes to figure things out, but plenty of bright moments, I'm sure, lie ahead for him too.
Best part about Hermosillo, he came from Tijuana to come up here to test himself, and that's what you need to do as an amateur. You need to come out and put yourself at a risk.
Justin Bernard is in the cage with the official decision. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a 3-round war, we go to the judges' scorecards for your winner. By unanimous decision, the red corner, Timmy Kwamba.
Yeah, as I was saying, you need to come out and
beautifully done. One more fight to come here at Tough Enough. These are the future stars of MMA.
Let's bring in our next bout of the evening. Making their way to the blue corner, Rashad Lee Thomas.
Rashad Lee Thomas is making his way to the cage right now, and look at the wingspan on this guy, 145 pounds. If you just saw this guy walking through the crowd like this, you'd guess he's what, 185 pounder?
Oh yeah, honest to God, I like saw him yesterday. He came up and gave me his paperwork, and I honestly did not know he was a 45er. That is crazy. The wingspan is going to help him out a lot.
75-inch wingspan. He's just 20 years old. Fights out of Las Vegas. Rebel MMA is the camp. He's 6'1" and 145 pounds. That is just an unbelievable build.
We have the identical wingspan. That is as far as my reach is, the same height and
you fight at 185 pounds in the UFC. Yeah.
Yes, and he's 40 pounds lighter than me.
That is unbelievable. Says that he looks up to John Jones, as you would expect that a young 20-year-old kid does. John Jones has that same sort of frame, right, where he's got that crazy long wingspan, and it served him so well. Let's meet his opponent.
And now making his way to the red corner, Juwan Potts.
So you go, all right, well, Lee Thomas is going to have himself a huge advantage. And then you go, wait a minute, his opponent is Juwan Potts. Very early on in his career, 1-0, so he's got a perfect record, but he only has one fight. Fights out of Las Vegas as well, 145 pounds, 6 foot tall.
Wow.
Just 21 years old. Leavenworth, Kansas is where he is from. Kickboxing is the fighting style, but obviously, as you know, Julian, over at Extreme Couture, you're training there. You're not just training one discipline, right? You're doing it all. So the guys over at Extreme Couture, arguably, with Randy Couture being the patriarch over there, have some of the best wrestling that you can find anywhere on the planet.
You look at this guy and you look at his physical makeup. He looks like he could be fighting at 170.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. Again, he looks like he has a large wingspan as well. His reach looks like it's going to be evenly matched. And another thing, too, is he's from Leavenworth, Kansas, you said. You know, that's close to my hometown. And, you know, a lot of fighters that I know came out of there, and I've trained with a lot of them. And their kickboxing is phenomenal.
Says he looks up to his parents and to his grandparents, and also when it comes to the fighting side of things, John Jones. So both these guys kind of aspire to be that next John Jones, which, you know, if he can stay out of his own way, what a career that young man has had. So here we go.
Could be the greatest of all time. This is going to be a fun one.
Juwan Potts, Rashad Lee Thomas.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the Tough Enough featherweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 1 victory, 1 defeat, fighting out of Rebel and Team Asylum, Las Vegas, Nevada, Rashad Lee Thomas. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding an amateur record, 1 victory, 0 defeats, fighting out of Extreme Couture, Las Vegas, Nevada, Juwan Potts. Your referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Chris Tione.
I mean, we'll see once this fight gets underway, but Juwan Potts looks like his arms may actually be longer than the 75-inch reach of Rashad Lee Thomas. So this should really be something. Oh boy,
Potts
fast action.
Good movement against the cage. That's exactly what you need to do. Oh, he's under the chin there. Oh,
just dropping bombs too. Just limbs everywhere.
Just long limbs just flying all over the place. Oh boy.
I mean, this is a tough fight for both of these guys. I mean, you don't have training partners at this weight class who are the size.
Yeah, so finding guys to train that have this kind of speed and this sort of reach, it's difficult to mimic. And then finding, you know, 2 guys that are opponents that match up so well. Again, credit to the matchmakers here at Tough Enough getting these guys into the cage together. Fast pace here in round number 1.
See Lee Thomas getting Potts up against the cage. Threw some knees earlier. See if he does it again.
Potts spinning out.
I would like to see Juan Potts put lift his head up and put it into the chin. He's getting kind of low, which is allowing Lee Thomas to circle out and break off the cage. That's why they keep getting to the middle inside that clinch position. I'm looking and seeing, I could see him setting up an outside trip if he wanted to. Oh, Potts decided to change his position.
Just exchanging knees there.
Only 30 seconds remaining here in round number 1. Lots of jockeying for position.
You know, I feel like Potts is comfortable standing right here and closing the distance, using his knees. There we go.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know if he's going to stop it. It looked like Lee Thomas got caught with a low blow there. Nice jab there by Potts, though.
Yeah, good head movement as well.
So round number 1 comes to a close. Interesting that it started out so fast and then it kind of grinded to a bit of a stalemate when they got up against the cage. I'll be curious to see who's willing to extend themselves and say, I'm not interested in clinching anymore. I'm not going to win the fight that way. Let's mix it up and roll the dice to see who comes out on top.
You know, again, always in the first round, you know, again, in amateur ranking, it's very tough when you don't know a lot about your opponent. So that first round, you kind of feel it out. Your adrenaline gets away. Those jitters get away. So then the second round, you understand a little bit more to open up. You know, I feel like Potts wants to still keep that clinch in and close the distance and keep it against the cage, and he's going to try to utilize his knees to tire out Lee Thomas. But I like Lee Thomas throwing those kicks. You know, those kicks are keeping Potts at bay, at a distance. So,
and we see Lee Thomas decide not to take the stool in between rounds. Potts is.
So 2 more minutes on the clock. These rounds go by real fast for these guys. Who is going to make a statement in round number 2? Because round number 1 very close, right? So who knows what the judges are thinking in the case of that. But here we go on to round number 2. And Potts takes a leg kick, fires off a punch. And to the ground it goes now. Potts in
little-
top position.
Potts holding the can opener position, pulling the neck straight to the chin to the chest, holding it down.
We're seeing Lee Thomas with those long legs try to keep Potts off him, but Potts is just all over him right now. I mean, transitioning to the side. Is he maybe able to flip over in this position just because he's so far bent back?
It's not. He's trying to go for, you could set up maybe a triangle.
Look at
the arm bar, he slipped out.
Potts backs up, lands a leg kick.
That nice little calf kick. That one's going to feel it in the morning. You know.
Yeah, it's funny. Like those, you don't really think about. You know, you're just watching a fight. You're like, yeah, just a little kick, and then you think about what that's going to feel like the next day.
We were talking about this off air that has become one of the most devastating strikes in mixed martial arts right now.
Oh, beautiful teep kick
nice
right
teep.
there. You know, he really coiled his body and loaded it. Exchanging kicks. I would like to see one of them after the kick. There you go, throw the punch.
So he grabbed the kick. Drop him with a punch.
Lee Thomas telling Potts to come down. Potts telling Lee Thomas to come up.
You know, right there it just shows like that Lee Thomas is saying, hey, I don't want to deal with your striking. That's how I would interpret this. And I think Potts needs to stand back and keep doing the same thing.
And Chris Tione brings Lee Thomas back to his feet.
You know, he's showing the leg kicks. Oh, nice. Good combinations by both guys.
Yeah, Lee Thomas connected with a right there.
Final seconds here of round number 2.
Another inside leg kick from Potts.
Yeah, Potts is fast and he's deliberate.
Good catch.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Julian, in saying that Lee Thomas in that round basically said, I don't want to strike with you anymore. Let's bring this fight to the ground, because on the ground, and even when they were clinched up against the cage, much more evenly matched. Juwan Potts showing the kickboxing history that he has and the precision of his striking, and they're finding their way home a lot easier than the strikes of Rashad Lee Thomas.
Yeah, if I was in Potts' corner, I would say anytime that Lee lands a kick, throw a combination. Doesn't matter what it is, don't give him a free kick. And with Potts, or with Lee Thomas, if I'm in his corner, I'd say you need to feint a little bit more to set up your combinations to unload that kick, to get inside and clinch or get the takedown. You know, I didn't like how he was calling him to the ground. It's only the second round, and you have 2 minutes to go.
Do you think Potts is winning 2-0 going into the third round?
100%.
Yeah, I think it's very, like the first round I think was pretty close. Definitely round number 2. I think that Potts took that one. So this is a make or break moment for Rashad Lee Thomas without question.
It is. A good high kick. Back to the clinch. That knee right there kind of looked like it absorbed a lot. It took a lot out of Lee Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, Potts throws with a lot of power. I mean, and he is just pushing Lee Thomas up against the cage. I mean, this is kind of what we've seen. Potts has been in control of where this fight is taking place.
Yeah, he definitely is in control the entire time. And right now, he's reaching behind the back, trapping the arm. I wonder if he's going to let go with his left and start throwing to the head. Oh, no, it's not controlled enough.
Yeah, interesting to see him controlling the wrist like that up against the cage.
You know, he's not getting any damage taken to him, as you can see. You know, Lee Thomas is trying to throw strikes, and all he can do is his right knee because, you know, Potts is keeping everything close.
Shoves him off. See what happens. Ooh, that one caught Potts.
Yeah, you saw him react to that a little bit. Oh, spinning fist. That one connects.
He says, yeah.
He nodded. Oh, nice attempt. You got to lock his hands right there. You know,
I mean, this is the most damage we've seen Lee Thomas do so far in this fight, you know.
Pushing in. I think the knees to the body have, you know, is costing Lee Thomas. You know, in the past 2 rounds, you could see his fatigue setting in, and you could see his strength isn't there. But what I'd like to see him do is to push real hard into the cage and pull back out.
I mean, if he could go big here at the end, you know, that first round was close. You never know what could happen.
Maybe another spinning back fist. Oh.
There it is.
It's like you're a professional fighter and saw that coming.
And that is the end of 3. Yeah, all right. So that was actually a pretty close fight all in. I mean, round number 2, I think, was definitively Potts, but there were some moments for Rashad Lee Thomas in round number 3 where I think he very well could have won that.
I think he stole the 3rd round.
You know, it's very tough. You have 2-minute rounds, so it's tough to judge because we can all look at different perspectives. But I think ending on the first round with Potts ending on top, it definitely is going to help out with the judges' scorecard, seeing that first and second.
You know, some of the fights we saw earlier, I almost would not be shocked since that first round was close. We think Potts had it, but it was close. This could be a split decision. I think Potts won, but that was a very good round from Lee Thomas there at the end. It was nice to see him finish strong in this fight.
Oh, yeah, beautiful fight. Beautiful fight.
And interestingly, when you see the judges kind of taking an extra minute to figure things out, sometimes that shows
math.
just how close it is, right?
What's going on with the math? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, so Justin Bernard in the cage right now with both fighters. They are about to announce who took this one down.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3-round war, we go to the judges' scorecards for your winner. By unanimous decision, the red corner, who won, Potts.
What a night of fights here in Las Vegas. We appreciate you being with us. Julian, what was the big takeaway for you tonight? I mean, we saw a lot of great competition, but were you impressed being in the booth for the first time with the level of fighting of these Tough Enough fighters?
Man, it's been amazing. It's been action-packed. Each one of these fighters have traveled from far distance. They're coming out here to put on a performance to show that they belong inside the cage and they want to go to the next level.
And Mahoney, we saw a lot of first-round finishes tonight. That was kind of how things got going for us.
One of the things we love about this sport is the excitement that these amateurs have, and they brought it here tonight in the fight capital of the world, Dave.
Alongside Jason Mahoney and Julian Marquez, I'm Dave Farah. Thank you so much for watching Tough Enough on beIN.
All right, fight fans, thank you so much for coming out to the Orleans for Tough Enough. We want you to get up out of your seat, put your hands to the sky, and make some noise. Free t-shirts. And now we bring out the Tough Enough Super Heavyweight Division. Making their way to the blue corner, Gerard Brutus Winston.
So we got a fun one for you here. How about the Super Heavyweight Division? Can't make this stuff up, man. These guys are huge and ready to fight.
Both making their debut tonight. I love it.
That's the best part. You know, you got two heavy guys coming out, and they're coming to perform. And not only that, how much power comes behind them, and they're looking to make up an impression.
So Gerard Winston at 255 pounds could obviously fight in the regular heavyweight division, although he'd be on the upper end of that. But his opponent, because he tipped the scales at 270, this is a super heavyweight fight. But like you said, both these guys having an opportunity to come out tonight and showcase their skills for the first time. This young man is 24 years old, traveled all the way from Fort Wayne, Indiana as his hometown. And Lee Brothers MMA in Fort Wayne, Indiana is his fight camp. So let's see what happens tonight.
Always something special about the heavyweights when they step in there. I mean, just like you said, there's just so much power behind these guys, and especially when you have two heavyweights making their debut. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, coming in at 249 pounds, you know, he looks like he's going to be in shape. I feel like he's going to be the more faster, more agile one inside the cage. But we never know because they're making their debut.
Yeah, so he said for his fight camp, he's been doing a lot of swimming and cycling and hitting the weights and cardio. So to your point, he is the lighter fighter, and he certainly has been conditioning for this moment. Has a lot of people that he looks up to. Works as a cook by day. Tonight he fights.
And now making his way to the red corner, Moses Kalou.
Moses Galoo also making the debut tonight, 23 years old, fighting out of Honolulu, Hawaii, 270 pounds at 6'2". So not an especially tall fighter, a very big, beefy fighter, as you can see with your own eyes, 67 inches on the reach, and he is a submission fighter. So I imagine that Moses is going to try to get this fight to the ground pretty early on and not have to taste that power of Gerard Winston.
And just his name just sounds like a fighter. I think he was born to be a fighter.
Oh,
With a
yeah.
name like Moses Galoo, you gotta be tough.
Guess what he does for a living?
What's that?
Security.
Oh, yeah. He's definitely been in some situations before.
He's probably tossed me out of a place or two.
You know, and another thing being Hawaiian, like that type of body, that Islander has always been tough. You look at Max Holloway, look at Brad Tavares. These guys are durable and they're here to fight. So they have the fighter spirit inside of them, and it's going to be exciting to see his first debut right here, cage side.
Yeah, he's a big 270. Looks very strong, making his debut tonight. Looks like he's having fun, too, going in.
Super heavyweights, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 two-minute rounds in the Tough Enough Super Heavyweight Division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, making his Tough Enough debut tonight, fighting out of Lee Brothers MMA, Fort Wayne, Indiana, Gerard Brutus Winston. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, also making his Tough Enough debut tonight, fighting out of Costco, Las Vegas, Nevada, Moses Galoo. Referee Joe Sullivan is in charge of the action inside the octagon.
Well, you can see that Moses is the crowd favorite right now. Has a lot of support.
A lot of intensity in Winston's eyes, too.
Oh,
Touch of the gloves. The super heavyweights are underway.
Oof.
Okay.
Didn't expect that, but all right. Fort Wayne, Indiana, representing tonight. Almost a crane-style kick.
Good composure by Moses right now. You know, good awareness as well. As you see, he pulls back off of.
Winston's got to stop circling to his left, though.
That's true. He's timing it. He's looking to see where he needs to get his strikes at.
Yeah, you do not want to run into that big right of Galoo.
No, Galoo looks like he's timing. He's setting up a time, waiting for Moses to throw that right hand so he can counter right off of it. As you see, he's leaning back, leaning back.
Well, I mean, Winston's the one who is pushing forward and being active, and Galoo is dodging that. I mean, is this a strategy just to wear him down in the first round and just come out in the second?
No, I think what Galoo's doing right now is sitting there and allowing to have Winston show his technique. Right now he's throwing double jabs and kicks. So once you start realizing that, then you can start finding tells, small tells, to where, all right, after this double jab, this is the same thing he does every time. I'm going to throw this combination or this kick.
You hear Galoo's corner telling him to shoot.
Just holding off. There's no rush. You know, those leg kicks right there are counting. As you can see, you know, Winston's trying to check them because those are powerful. He's very front foot heavy, you know, because he, I presume, would be a boxer. And they're going to take their toll.
Yeah, you see that much weight coming behind it, you know, it's that is going to hurt.
Oh, big kick to the body there. Galoo catches him right in the ribs. Winston does a good job of absorbing it, but you know that one had to hurt. Round number 1 is in the books. Super heavyweights will continue.
All right, fight fans, don't forget to go into the concourse and enter that 50-50 raffle inside the concourse. That raffle is up to $1,100. It could be yours. Don't forget to enter. Closing after this fight.
All right, so take us through this one. What do you see there, Julian, as far as who's doing the right things, who's doing the wrong things in round number 1?
You know, I see Moses Galoo sitting there getting the timing right. You know, Winston has thrown double jabs, inside leg kicks, and kind of like a jumping teep kick, you know. So he's getting the time, and I would like for him to, in this round, to capitalize on it. But as well as Jared Winston is actually putting the pressure, trying to go that, I just want him to commit to those combos so they can land, because he's got to earn the respect of Galoo.
Round number 2 is underway. Galoo is wearing the straight black trunks. Winston is wearing the red and the white.
As you see, he timed that. He was waiting for that second jab, and he caught him right on the middle of the first jab.
Yeah, slipped it right over it. Yep, doing it again.
He's timed him out. He has his number. He sees his combos. This is what he's going to throw. This is when I need to react.
Yeah, and he's baiting him too, right? He's saying, come on, let's go. Wants to throw the counter.
Which is good. Now, Winston needs to fake that jab and throw that right hand down the pipe, because, you know, Galoo keeps dropping his lead hand when he's trying to throw. As you see, he's trying to throw that right.
I mean, we're seeing some pretty interesting flexibility from Winston in his kicks, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you know, Galoo does have to watch that.
Switching stance up. Just for a moment, Winston did, which was good.
Oh, connected there.
There you go, putting more punches together.
Oh. What a shot. Drops Winston and then swarms. Now big punches. Winston is covering up, protecting himself. I think Galoo thought it was going to be over with that one shot.
Oh, he
sort of
did.
stood back and celebrated for a second, and that may have cost him his opportunity to put this one away.
It landed clean, but Winston is tough.
He's now throwing, he's doing perfect. He's coming over the top. Winston's coming over, or not Winston, Galoo's coming over the top of that jab every time, and it's landing that straight right. You know, we need to see something different from Winston, because he's going to bait himself into another knockdown.
You know, we did see one strike from Winston land in this round that caught Galoo pretty good. He shook it off, but I mean, the confidence of Galoo right now is just through the roof.
Yeah, final 10 seconds here of round number 2, and he's trying to time it out.
You know, beautiful IQ by Galoo right now. You know, it is exactly how you should do in the second round. You now know the timing. He's got it down. He knows what he needs to do. Now I'd like to see.
We serve. At Anthem, we believe the best healthcare coverage can actually help people stay healthy. That's why we go beyond simply providing healthcare coverage. Big shout out to our friends at Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield.
I would like to see Galoo add on another punch right after that right hand, because now the timing is, you know, Winston throws a jab, he hits the right hand. Well, Winston's going to pull his head back, and then if he comes back with that 3, if Galoo comes back with a hook, that is going to land, and it will not be seen.
I don't think we're going to see Galoo make the same mistake he made in that second round. You know, I mean, he landed that clean right that put Winston down, and just a little bit of a premature celebration. I mean, when you hit a guy that clean, usually they go down, but if he would have followed that up, I mean, I think this fight could have probably been stopped.
Yeah, I imagine about 99% of the people that Galoo has punched in the face in his life don't get back up from a single punch like that.
Oh, they do not. But again, we're doing 4-ounce gloves, and anything can happen. You know, Winston just needs to change up his combos and commit and put more than just one strike together. As you saw in the second round, he put 3 lefts together, and that ended up landing the 3rd shot. So he needs to commit and go all in. I think Winston's corner told him to keep your hands up as you come forward.
Winston's got some, looked like he was wincing there for a second, but both his eyes back open now.
He does have the mean mug down. Like, he almost has like an ice cube thing going on with the scowl. But Galoo is the one that just...
That was an interesting, like, standing hammer fist almost.
Yeah, a little Donkey Kong punch.
A little Wreck-It Ralph.
Jeremy Kimball did that against, you know, Josh Stansberry in the UFC, and actually ended up hitting him on the top of the head and, you know, rocking him and setting up his next punch. So it's an effective punch because it comes off an angle you don't see.
And a punch that's not thrown very often either.
Oh.
You're usually not expecting that.
Not at all. As you see, Galoo's still waiting for that opportunity to rock back, hit that 2-3.
Yeah, Galoo not really taking any chances, waiting for Winston to make that move to counter, as we saw right there.
See how he hit him with that two barely, and he came back and brought his head in the same spot? That would have been right where his hook would have landed if he would have put something outside of that two, if Galoo would have put something outside of that two.
Final seconds of the fight.
Yeah, curious to see if Galoo is going to try to finish this one. There's a couple of leg kicks there. Final 10 goes for a head kick that misses.
I like the misdirection with the braids.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I mean, that's smart fight IQ. You know, you don't really see that very often, but it was an interesting maneuver there from Galoo. You know, he certainly showed a lot of character, and you know that's a big part of becoming a fan favorite and making a lot of money in mixed martial arts.
Yeah,
he did. I'll tell you what, man, the super heavyweights. Like I wouldn't have thought that fight was going to go the distance, but you know, to Winston's credit, he hung in there. He took a lot of shots, including that huge one that put him on his back. But these guys were game, man. They were just trying to figure each other out while having a lot of respect for each other's power. That was a fun little scrap.
Yeah, you kind of have to at the heavyweight division. Again, we're 4-ounce gloves. That is, if you don't respect your opponent, you could be over. As you see, that one punch, that one powerful punch dropped down Winston. And it's tough, but
I'm excited to see both these guys again. I'm pretty sure we could see Galoo make it down to that heavyweight limit, but looked real good tonight. This was a fun heavyweight fight, and can't wait to see him again.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it was a beautiful showing by both guys. I really
keep it super heavyweight, man. Like, go have some barbecue. Like, let's just find another dude that's like 280. Bring him in here. I love these type of fights. They're kind of a novelty fight because very rarely do you see guys that are that big. But I mean, you know, maybe you stumbled across something tonight where he goes, "Hey, that was a pretty good performance. Let's see what else I can do." Here's Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for your winner. By unanimous decision, the red corner, Moses Galoo.
You know, I believe that was the correct call. I believe he did just enough to get there. It was a close fight between round 1 and round 3, but, you know, that knockdown really changed the tide, really changed everything.
So we're going to go from the super heavyweight all the way down to the 125-pound division. That is coming up next. These are the future stars of MMA.
And now making their way to the blue corner, Jesse Larionov.
Jesse Larionov is headed into the cage right now, just 19 years old, 5'3", has a 66-inch reach. Says that he is ready to fight tonight, even though the last fight that he had in January of this year, just a few weeks ago really, back on the 19th of January, didn't go his way. He's been in mixed martial arts for a year, and he is out here to get some experience, cut his teeth, and figure out what he needs to do to make sure that he gets himself victory every time he steps into the cage. Loves Jose Aldo. You look at Jose Aldo as a fighter and somebody that you want to emulate. I mean, that's a guy who has had such a storied career, and that story continues for Jose Aldo too. You know, he's been so durable over the years.
Resurgence. It was a beautiful performance in his last fight.
Great performance. So excited to see a young man that looks up to Jose Aldo. Curious whether or not he can emulate that. He says he's been preparing for this fight with striking and wrestling.
Making that drive from San Diego to Las Vegas along the 15, just about a 6-hour drive there. Fighting out of Victory MMA, another storied MMA gym.
And now making his way to the red corner, Christian Tran.
Big moment for Christian Tran. This is the first time he is making this walk. It is his debut, and he doesn't even know which direction to go, but he looks excited to be here, doesn't he?
He knows he's going to find his way to the cage at some point.
Yep.
A fight will take place, and he's going to have fun while it happens.
Yeah, as you see that, I honestly believe, you know, the best person out there is the person that's having the most fun. You know, if you're walking in taking it way too serious, then you're going to overthink. But if you come out dancing, having fun, being loose, that means you're right here. You're ready, you're prepared, and this is your mentality.
We hear, you know, so many times in the past that, like, this is the fun part. The fight is the fun part because you've got 6 or 8 weeks of training camp where you're eating healthy, you're training every single day, and then it all gets to come out here. Is that true? Or
100%. Your actual fight is the weight cut.
Yeah.
The camp. That's your first fight is the camp. The second fight is the weight cut. The third fight is the actual fight. But that's not really a fight because you do that every single day. That is the fun part. This is where you get to utilize all the tools that you trained in the past 6 to 8 weeks.
Well, this young man, again, 18 years old, 5'6" at 125 pounds. Loves Dominic Cruz because his style, wants to be in the UFC business, just like you are, Julian. So he actually has the exact date that he got into mixed martial arts. It was January 22nd, 2018. So just a year ago, a little over a year ago, but he knows the exact moment that he decided, I'm going to do this. He's training with Extreme Couture, and he looks happy and ready.
That's good. He started training before he...
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the Tough Enough flyweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 1 victory, 2 defeats. Fighting out of Victory MMA, San Diego, California, Jesse Lariana. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, making his Tough Enough debut tonight. Fighting out of Extreme Couture, Las Vegas, Nevada, Christian Tran. Referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Chris Tione.
125-pounders are set to go. 3 2-minute rounds. Larionov is wearing the multicolored trunks. Tran is wearing the red trunks. Tran making his debut with the right hand. Smiles when he connects with that one.
Beautiful. I like how right after that leg kick, he answered with something. He didn't just let it be and give him a free shot. Good counters as well, Christian Tran's throwing.
Both these guys very fast, and Tran starting to connect now. He's swarming, landing big punches. Larionov firing right back, though. Tran starting to connect. Man, what a change of pace between the super heavyweights and this. And Tran gets dropped.
Wow, good quick recovery.
Yeah, great recovery by him. Larionov right back in the mix after eating some big punches there. Things easily could have swung the direction of Tran when it came to the momentum, but Larionov slowed things down just enough, and now it looks like he's doing that same thing, but ready to fire. Both these guys corked up.
Larionov is doing a really good job at throwing the feint and trying to read what Christian Tran's trying to do so he can throw a combination. And Christian Tran doing the same thing back. He's looking for that right hand, and he's landed most of the fight. There it is again. He's setting it up.
And both these fighters have tasted each other's power, slowing down a little bit here on the first part or the second half of the first round.
Yeah, the adrenaline definitely, is out the window right now. They're starting to cool off, starting to breathe, starting to pick their shots.
It's a big right and a big kick.
Yeah, a couple of big shots. Larionov doing a nice job having the reach disadvantage, finding his way inside and connecting.
That was a beautiful from Larionov where he threw that right arm step through to the left leg kick, and when he planted it down through the right arm again, it's keeping Christian Tran at the edge of his punch and keeping him at bay.
Final 10 seconds here of round number 1. Great exchanges early on between these two.
That's a tough first round to call.
And it was beautiful, actually. It was beautiful display for both guys. They both got a knockdown, or one got a knockdown, the other one, can definitely wobble it. I love that. That was a great round. Great show of...
All right, fight fans, don't forget to join us back here at the Orleans, April 6th. Put it in your calendars, in your phones, right here at the Orleans Hotel and Casino, inside the ballrooms. That is where Tough Enough is at. Fight night. Tickets start at just $25. We'll see you right here back at the Orleans for more future stars of MMA. PJE Doc.
I like when Larionov throws his combinations. That's when he's doing the most, like we saw with that right hand to left kick to right hand. I would like for him to put those combinations back in because Christian Tran is pushing forward and actually, you know, using his reach, but he's cutting the distance way too much. And if Christian Tran would just sit back a little bit and use that range, it would be a lot more pop.
Interesting, as we were watching that replay there, we saw Tran watch himself and watch the replay from outside the ring.
Hey, man, it's his debut. This is the first time doing this. This is a big stage. You're surrounded by screens with you on it for a change. It's pretty awesome.
He's living the moment. He's enjoying it, you know. He's coming out in this second round. Perfect, cool, calm, and collective. And Larionov is sitting there working the feints. Good 3-2. Sitting there. I'd like for Christian to use that double jab with the right hand. His right hand's very, very good.
Oh, nice shots there. Tran starting to light him up a bit, but Larionov, very game in these moments, fires back, spins out, gets away.
Yeah, we're seeing that right just be thrown by Tran, like he's putting everything in it.
Yeah, there's that right hand step through with the kick.
Nice jab by Larionov. Again, you know, shorter fighter, smaller reach, but still finding a home for that jab.
Yeah, we're seeing Larionov mix it up a little bit more diversity in his striking. And I think, you know, almost at a disservice to Tran because he landed that right so early and so flush in the first round. You know, he continues to go back to that.
Yeah, you know, Tran's doing good. I would like for him to incorporate, you know, a kick or something else after his combination so he can get the respect from Larionov. Larionov is adding that kick that's throwing the timing off, where Christian Tran's kind of throwing that single jab with that right hand, and Larionov is kind of timing it, understands that, hey, this punch is coming. If I move this way, then boom.
There we go. See a nice leg kick there from Tran. Either of these fighters really haven't thought about taking this fight to the ground yet.
No.
Both standing very tall.
Yeah, both very confident in their striking, clearly. Coming down to the final 10 seconds here of round number 2. And another jab. Yeah, I mean,
that jab's good. Working for Larionov.
Tran's doing a nice job parrying a lot of the punches that come in, but at the same time, he's not first with his strikes, right? And I think that's starting to cost him a little bit.
Yeah, you heard, during that round, maybe you were able to hear that Tran's corner was telling him to be first.
Oh, were they saying that, Jim? Yeah.
And it's true. You know, what I like towards the end of the round, if you see, Larionov was actually threw that right hand, but stepped through with it so he can make the right hand a little bit longer since he has a shorter distance and shorter range. So that's what's setting up that left outside kick to the body. I like that combination. That combination has been landing every time he throws it.
How do you have this fight going into the third round?
Going into the third round, I think that knockdown can persuade the judges in the first round. In the second round, I think that, I think Larionov was doing great. I think it's 2-0 Larionov right now.
I think you could be right. Certainly, I think both of these fighters, their corners would tell them, go out here and finish it if you can.
Yeah. You know, I would like to see, Christian Tran to throw that double jab, full extension, and then put that right down the center instead of looping it out to where Larionov can see it and slide out just enough, and as well as add some kicks into his arsenal.
Third and final round is underway here in Las Vegas. 125-pounders, both very game so far. And Tran comes out with some pressure. Looks like his corner was telling him, you got to bring the heat. But Larionov, oh, man.
Larionov jumps into that punch.
And he just busted the nose of Tran open.
Beautiful slide right there by Larionov.
Works that
leg
out
of the distance. Yep. See, he's gotten Tran to flinch every time he shows that right hand, so he doesn't know which punch is coming, which kick is coming. Oh,
Tran does a good job landing that right, but I think Larionov knows that it's coming.
Christian Tran's doing a beautiful job as well as throwing that right hand, but he just needs to add a little bit more after his combination or before his combination because it looks like he's just depending on his right hand.
Yeah.
There it is again, that step through 2 with that body kick. That's scoring points.
Tran staying active. Not really falling into any single.
Oh, big shot there from Tran. Larionov is rocked.
He is rocked, and Tran should have put the pressure on him.
Instead, Larionov going for the takedown here.
Gets it.
Larionov did the perfect thing right there. Tran needs to get up because Larionov is still hurt. As you can tell, he is just trying to wrestle and get position instead of strike. He does not want to go back up.
Yeah, interestingly, though, even though he got rocked right there, I mean, that's immediately followed up. Larionov gets the takedown. Now he's in top position, only 20 seconds left in this fight. I mean, if you're going to answer getting rocked like that, this is a pretty good way to do it if you're playing to the judges' scorecards, which may be very necessary right now with just 15 seconds remaining.
Yeah, taking the back right here is big.
Yep.
Oh, he's got that undeep. He's got that in deep right there.
It's underneath.
He can
It's
finish it. He can finish it.
He's choking him.
He's got short time. Oh, beautiful.
Nice job by Tran.
Beautiful
and
job by Tran.
The clock expires. So.
You know what? That was a beautiful display for a debut that Tran did. You know,
look at him. He's having fun, man.
Good combination. He didn't take it against another debut fighter. He took it with another fighter that has 3 fights of experience in there. And, you know, it showed, but it was a beautiful display. It shows that he has power. He has length. Once he add a little bit more to his arsenal, I think that it's going to build him up, and he has a future.
He's been involved in the sport for a year.
Yeah,
a year.
A year. It is amazing. And Tran, you know, what I thought was great is Tran was rocked, and the first thing he did wasn't trying to, you know, throw any punches back. He went in for grappling. The first time we saw a shot throughout this whole entire fight, because whenever you're rocked, you can't see, but you can feel. And what he did was use his sense to feel, and he ended up locking his hands, picking him up, and taking it down.
Yeah, I think he stole the round with that, too.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, it led to the transition for the, you know, attempted submission there at the end, which really scored some points. But I think that solidified the win for Larionov in this third and final round, man. That was a fun fight between these two guys.
Well, Justin Bernard is in the cage right now. He has the judge's decision. Took him a little bit of time to render that, so curious to see if this is going to be another one of these split decisions that we saw earlier tonight. Here is Justin with the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a 3-round war, we go to the judges' scorecards for your winner by split decision, Justin Larionov.
So a close one, but Larionov gets the victory tonight, and you know what, like you said, a really nice debut performance from Christian Tran. Came out, he was having a blast, was doing a lot of things right. Sure, there's room for improvement, as you would expect with anyone making their debut. I'm excited to see him compete again.
Yeah, you can't, and nothing beats having a split decision, because that means one of the judges thought that you won.
Yeah.
You know, one of the judges gave it to you, which means you were doing everything right.
And now making their way to the blue corner, Jonathan Hernandez.
Nice little pop from the crowd there for Jonathan Hernandez. Did they bring giant foam fingers?
Oh, they have giant foam fingers out there in the crowd, and they light up.
Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever seen light up giant foam fingers before.
I want that.
That is awesome. Where do you? Where do you get those?
I don't.
Are those just promo items that they handed to? Do those say Crown Royal? I can't tell what they say. Or
It says MMA corner.
Oh,
MMA
it does.
corner.
All right, so great.
Okay, so yeah, that's his team name right there. Dave's
Dave Howard's MMA corner. So
We've seen
Jonathan
him
Hernandez in his MMA debut is out here with people with flashing foam fingers. What a start!
No, that's definitely amazing. There's a lot of fans out here for him.
I've been in my career for like 20 years and no one's ever showed up with even a single giant foam finger that lights up for me.
I don't even think anybody showed up with a banner for me.
See?
I'd fight.
Yeah, you're like, I'm in the UFC. What the hell's going on here? Tell you what, your next fight, Mahoney and I will get some giant foam fingers. We'll
with
be
a
out
banner.
There. With a banner between.
There we go.
Well, debut tonight for this young man who's just 18 years old. He said, I got into mixed martial arts to better myself and to challenge myself, and he says he is ready for this one, training 6 days a week.
And now making his way to the red corner, Juan Crespo.
Juan Crespo also making the debut tonight in the Tough Enough 145-pound division. 34 years old, fighting out of Mexico City, Mexico. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. Debut for both of these guys. He is 34 years old, though. His opponent is 18. He got into mixed martial arts a little over 2 years ago, January of 2017. Been getting ready for the fight by training hard. Doesn't know anything about his opponent because, as you'd expect, that's tough to do when someone's making their debut. He is a sushi chef by day.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes.
Fast hands, right? You have to have fast, precise hands.
I just
to be a
had
sushi
before I came here.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm guilty. I needed.
I'm jealous. We're like 13 fights in now. I'm hungry. I just kill for a roll of some kind.
I'm curious if I went to his restaurant. I don't know.
I mean, I assume this is probably his restaurant. It's called Kandia Sushi.
Okay.
Kandia Sushi belt
No.
for the sponsorship. So maybe his restaurant sponsored him to come out and compete. But
I'm gonna
he
go
fights
try
out
it.
of Las Vegas here. So let's see how he does tonight. And then I'll
Yeah.
decide whether or not I want to frequent the restaurant.
Yeah.
And if he likes our commentary.
That's very true,
Yeah.
because, you know, if he's in charge of my sushi, I don't want
Yeah,
anything
can't be
extra.
getting bad fish from him because we're criticizing how he's fighting in there.
Yeah.
But he's looking very calm. You know, I love when two fighters are making their debut, fighting with the guys over at Juan Fight Team. You know, tough guys over there.
Yeah,
You know-
I mean, 16 years the senior of his opponent. This one should be a whole lot of fun. Here is Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 two-minute rounds in the Tough Enough featherweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, making his Tough Enough debut tonight, fighting out of Dave Howard's MMA corner, Las Vegas, Nevada, Jonathan Hernandez. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, also making his Tough Enough debut tonight. Fighting out of Juan Fight Team, Las Vegas, Nevada, Juan Crespo. The referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Chris Tione.
All right, Hernandez is wearing the black and the red. Crespo is wearing the black and the gray. 3 two-minute rounds. Two fighters making their debut tonight here in Las Vegas in the 145-pound division, and we are underway.
Good job by Hernandez sitting there closing the distance. You know, it says Crespo is a Muay Thai fighter. You do not want to give him range.
Nice trip.
Yeah, great trip.
Good.
Gets him down to the ground. The
Looking for a submission? Well, no.
18-year-old currently in position. Throws a knee there that does go to the body. You cannot throw knees to the head in amateur mixed martial arts, so got to be careful with that, but nice precision on the part of Hernandez.
Ooh, beautiful hook that Crespo threw right there. Oh,
Hernandez ate it pretty well, though.
he did. I like how Crespo is moving his feet when his back is against a cage to allow him to create space to move out. So I like he's backing up and allowing his opponent to come forward so he can set up his combos. There's Crespo.
These guys are just winging it right now, too.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, now
Beautiful
Crespo
timing.
going for the takedown here. Ends up giving up on it, but he did do a nice job of timing that one out. Looked like he was going to be able to scoop him up and then abandon it.
Yeah, we see Crespo breaking that. You know, he seems to like the distance in this fight so far.
Oh, he does. He wants to create distance and back up. He's thinking he has good success with that 3 because it landed. But let's see next when he gets off the cage if he backs up, throws a 3, and throws maybe an uppercut with his right hand or a knee, because as you saw, Crespo or Hernandez dropped his head after that 3 came after him.
Gets him up against the cage. Just a few seconds left here in this first round. See if Crespo explodes when he hears the clapper right there.
All right, here he goes. Oh,
Final seconds here of round number 1. And down he goes. Crespo finishing the round in top position.
Big shout out to our friends at 9 Dragons Fight Shop, supplying Tough Enough's fight night with gear, making sure all of our fighters are geared up and ready to enter the cage tonight. And speaking of that, big shout out to our friends at the ISKA, Carlos and the entire crew, making sure all of the fighters are ready to fight on fight night.
That was a fun first round. We saw a lot of action, pretty evenly matched, and you know the fight taking place in 2 different places. We saw Crespo try to take Hernandez down. We saw Hernandez try to take Crespo down. The stand-up was pretty exciting, and I think these are 2 evenly matched fighters that we've seen so far.
I think you're right. Hernandez started out better, and Crespo finished the round better, in my opinion. Like, it seemed like Crespo kind of figured out how to deal with it, but when Hernandez early on was swarming, that was working pretty well for him.
yeah, I mean, it's doing good. I would like to see what fighter adjustments they have, what their corner told them to do into this second round, because now that they got that first round jitter, we're in the second round, I think we're going to see a little bit more
Yeah, especially for
capitalization.
guys making their debut. It's a very real thing in round number 1. Let's see who takes control here in round number 2. Crespo drops him. Timed that one beautifully, too.
Hernandez popped right back up and lands a nice left right there as he moves forward.
Yep.
Oh,
Crespo kind of
smart.
pushes him down.
That was smart.
Tripped.
Uh-oh.
Oh, legs are tied up.
God, these guys just scramble like crazy when they get on the ground, you know, looking like they're looking for submissions, and then they both just get back up real quick.
Crespo's got this crazy looping punch that he does, and it's almost like he's doing it not even really worried about landing it, just trying to see how Hernandez is going to react. Hernandez this time gets the takedown, big trip. Crespo pushed up against the cage. He's got the neck. Crespo back to his feet now.
Both of them are in a dogfight position. Oh, he's got the neck in deep. Oh, try to go down.
Interesting that Hernandez just went right back to that headlock.
Yeah, you know, a lot of fighters do that. You know, whenever someone takes a shot, if they feel like they have the neck, they think the guillotine's there, and it's just a go-to for most fighters.
That one just gave Crespo a shave right there. Kick almost connected. Big knee there by Crespo, and again, we're seeing that trip trying to be performed by Hernandez.
Nice little sprawl there from Crespo, avoiding the takedown.
And again, we see kind of Crespo back up a little bit and want to exchange some blows with Hernandez.
That left did connect. Hernandez catches the kick.
These teep kicks are powerful, and they're landing right there in the solar plex of Hernandez. You know, Crespo's doing a good job at placement. You know, I would like to see him do something more than just that dominant right or left hand. I'd like to see him set it up.
Almost saw a Rocky and Apollo thing. They both threw hooks, and they both landed at the same time. Love that.
Oh, beautiful check by Hernandez. Beautiful check. You know that definitely hurt.
Round number 2 is coming to a close. Crespo looks for the takedown, unable to get it. Spins, and round number 2 is in the books.
That's a close one.
Yeah, it was. And Crespo, it's interesting because he is very deliberate with his striking, but he also does this thing where it's just like these crazy setups. You can see it coming a mile away. He's like takes a big breath of air, and then it's a spinning kick, you know, every time. But a lot of them are still finding their way home.
Yeah. Well, you know, I will give that one to Crespo.
Here's some of the action, as you see. Really fast pace between these two. I mean, but they're just exchanging, and like you said, Mahoney, the scrambles are so fast.
Yeah, that flash knockdown at the beginning, you know, definitely is going to add points, but the recovery time that Hernandez had was phenomenal.
I mean, 18 years old, he's in phenomenal shape. He's eaten a couple punches, the big punches that we saw from Crespo, but he pops up quick, man. Like, it's been a very close fight so far. I do not envy the judges. I think it could be 1-1, it could be 2-0 for either fighter going into this third round. This round's going to determine it, I think.
Crespo almost looks like the brother of George St. Pierre. You get that a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
He's kind of got that look to him. All right, it all comes down to this. Who is going to walk away with this third round? Who's winning the fight right now? I mean, it depends what the judges are seeing. It is very close, and these guys are scrappy, fun to watch. Less than 2 minutes remaining on the clock for these guys to do work, and the sense of urgency appears to be there for both of them. Crespo scoops, gets a takedown.
Will we see Hernandez be able to pop up like he has in prior rounds? Kind of an awkward position getting on top. We're seeing Crespo try to stay heavy. But Hernandez just active and pushing him as much as he can, throwing fists from the bottom.
I would like to see what Hernandez is, you know, trying to set up with his grip right now. He's got his body set off to the side and his feet set off to the side, but it doesn't look, I think he's just trying to hold him there instead of trying to get free to stand up.
Yeah, but this is this is the longest we've seen either of these fighters on their back so far. So even though he's not doing a lot of damage, this, you know, could be leaving an impression in the judge's eyes.
Yeah, and the corner of Hernandez is none too pleased to see this either. So he finally makes his way back to his feet, but he's got just 40 seconds to do work here.
Crespo's going to set back and try to time that right hand or left hand. There he goes again.
Yeah, those punches coming a little slower from Crespo. He used a lot of energy holding Hernandez down, and we see Hernandez push forward again.
Hernandez needs to, you know, back off and kind of trade with him a little bit. You know, we have short time, and right now I think he's down on the cards.
Yeah, Crespo scoops again, gets another takedown. And we're down to our final 15 seconds in this third and final round.
Right here, it's you have to go to your go-to submission, go to your go-to stand-up. Like, you have to figure something out. You have short time, and, you know, I like how he's still fighting regardless.
You know, we saw that's the most control we saw Crespo have on the ground, you know, in this entire fight. Not a lot of damage done by Crespo to Hernandez in this third round, but he controlled where this fight took place, and those 2 takedowns, I think, gave him that third round. Could possibly give him the decision, depending on how that first round went.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be really close on the judges' scorecards. Hernandez and his body language and that of his corner, they look pretty upset right now. Like they didn't think that third round went their way, and it seems like they think that they needed that third round in order to get it. But, you know, it's interesting, man. It'll be fascinating to see what the judges come back with. This could be another split decision because the first couple of rounds were very close.
Yeah, but very impressive from 2 fighters. You know, one 18 years old, the other one 34 years old, making their debut here in Las Vegas in front of a sold-out crowd at the Orleans. You know, fun fight.
Let's just be honest. Age was not a factor.
It wasn't, no. Yeah.
And,
you know, regardless of the outcome on the judges' scorecards, we will come eat at your restaurant, Juan Crespo.
Yes,
you got
it. You got us in right there.
Yeah, that was it.
Just let me get some, you know, California rolls on the house, though. Please.
When you're in training camp, can you eat sushi?
Well, no.
No?
Not at all.
Not even sushi? I thought
That's
sushi
like
was
the
healthy,
that's
right?
like
the healthiest thing I eat.
Yeah, sushi's not bad, but like, have you ever gone to a sushi restaurant and not just had like 3 rolls?
No,
or
yeah,
4
right.
rolls? Like,
Yeah.
you're going to eat.
All right, here's Justin Bernard with the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3-round war, we go to the judges' scorecards for your winner. By unanimous decision, the red corner, Juan Crespo.
At 34 years old, goes in there to make his debut against an 18-year-old, very skilled young man in Jonathan Hernandez, and he gets himself the victory tonight. Congratulations to Juan Crespo. Impressive stuff. The future stars of MMA, more coming up from the Orleans in just a moment.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for supporting the raffle in the concourse today. And right now, it is time to draw a winner. And what a better person to draw it than our CEO President, Mr. Jeff Meyer. Let's see your hands, Jeff. $604 if you have ticket blue 0551175. Go to the Piece Together booth if you have that ticket to redeem your prize. Thank you so much for your support in the raffle. And now it's time to bring out our next Tough Enough bout. Making their way to the blue corner, Branson Santana.
Well, if you like the idea of fighters making their debut, I got good news for you. 4 out of the next 5 fighters also making their debut. Branson Santana is making the walk right now. And Branson Santana looks like a confident young man who's ready to mix it up tonight. And it's always interesting when you see these fighters that come from Hawaii, because there's this real sense on the islands of, you know, fighting being in your blood, right?
Oh, yeah.
You see so many fighters, so many great fighters that have. Hawaii's a pretty small place, all things considered, and the amount of fighters per capita that get turned out by Hawaii to come to the highest levels of mixed martial arts in Bellator and the UFC and compete, we regularly see, and it's a testament to that warrior type of nature. And these guys really, really bring an intensity like you don't see regularly from other places. You don't go, well, this guy's fighting out of California. He's naturally going to bring an intensity. You almost always see that with Hawaiian guys.
Absolutely. You know, we've seen a lot of great Hawaiian champions over the years like Max Holloway and BJ Penn, and a lot of great Hawaiian fighters here in the Tough Enough Fighting Championships. You know, Las Vegas, you know, a very big population of people who've relocated from Hawaii, and it's always fun to watch these guys traded up inside the Tough Enough cage.
Let's meet his opponent.
And now making his way to the red corner, Chance Laird.
Chance Laird also making the debut tonight at 190 pounds. This one's going to be a catchweight. He is 21 years old, fighting out of Las Vegas. Stands 5'10". Trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Muay Thai. His teammate just got himself a victory. He is also representing One Fight Team.
And you can see the crowd is hyped, and, you know, 21 years old, getting in here, gonna trade it up again. Just something so special, and I love how we're going to finish out this night of fights with so many fighters, you know, being exposed to so many mixed martial arts fans here and around the world.
Works security as a day job, loves to do work and spend time with his family, says he's been getting ready for this one for a long time. Really looks up to Donald Cowboy Cerrone because of his fighting style. And as far as personal heroes, he said Grandma Cherry. I don't know who that is, but I always like it when somebody shouts out their grandma.
Always.
Yeah.
Always.
You know, Grandma probably put a little whoop into his backside a time or two.
That's
so he's got
right,
a lot of
yeah.
respect.
Got that training in the early years of life. But, yeah, big contingent from One Fight Team representing here tonight. And so fighting in front of a crowd that is very friendly, making his debut. Pressure is certainly on, but he's got the support.
Is it more daunting to fight in your hometown or fighting on the road?
I don't know. I think fighting in your hometown when you have your friends and family there, because, again, that's the thing that gets you the most. When you're somewhere where no one knows you, then you have no expectation.
Here's Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in a Tough Enough catchweight bout of 190 pounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, making his Tough Enough debut tonight, fighting out of War Tribe MMA, Las Vegas, Nevada, Brenton Santana. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, also making his Tough Enough debut tonight, fighting out of One Fight Team, Las Vegas, Nevada, Chance Laird. Referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Joe Sullivan.
Three 2-minute rounds, two fighters making their debut tonight. Santana is wearing the straight black trunks. Laird is wearing the black trunks with the Venom logo.
Laird snaps off a quick kick.
Yeah, these are big, powerful guys. It's happening at catchweight at 190 pounds. Santana looking for that takedown. Laird doing a nice job of fighting it off.
Oh, he's
got that neck.
Got that neck. That probably didn't feel too good landing on your head right there.
Yeah, Santana pops his head out, though. He's inside control. Well, no, he's in the half guard.
Just pushing forward. Got to watch that crossface, though. His elbows are not allowed. I mean, Santana just bulldogged his way into this position.
He did, and Laird is kind of just like, you know, holding on to try to get the ref to stand it up instead of trying to, you know, shift his hip side to side to
full
release.
mount. I mean, you're not standing it up in full mount. I mean, you shouldn't, especially with 2-minute rounds.
No. What Chance needs to do is, you know, put his hands on his hip and make a quick burst and shimmy his hips side to side, almost like a shrimp, and get his leg free and then go back to the clinch, or go back to, you know, grabbing a hold of the body.
Ate a couple shots there from Santana, but Laird has gotten out of that perilous position that he was in.
Santana doing a nice job of controlling, though. I mean, Laird is spinning, and he's trying to get his way out of this, but Santana just continues to be heavy on top, and he's landing a lot of punches as a result, and certainly winning the round thus far.
He's doing a good job of cranking on that head and just, you know, pulling Chance down. You know, it's a very dominant first round for Santana.
Round number 1 comes to a close, and very nice job. Branson Santana in his debut. Came out fast, got the takedown, and ended up being in top
Hey,
position
fight
most
fans,
of
don't
that.
forget to join us April 6th right here back at the Orleans for more Tough Enough Future Stars of MMA. Put it in your calendars. Tickets just $25. You go to toughenough.com or orleanscasino.com. Fight night with future stars of MMA, Tough Enough at the Orleans.
So, Julian, what are you telling Laird? Because it seemed like no matter where that fight went on the ground, that was somewhere that Branson Santana was very comfortable.
You know, if I'm telling Laird, I would start focusing on the uppercuts, you know, going backwards instead of trying to keep on going forwards, you know. Santana is a bulldog, and he's coming forward, and he's dropping his head low. So I would like to catch Santana with that uppercut to pop his head up and as well move back and circle. Not in a straight line, but circle on the outside.
Round number 2, 2 more minutes on the clock. Cage doors are closed here at the Orleans in Las Vegas. Fantastic crowd for a night of fights. We appreciate you being along for the ride as well. Not the immediate urgency and scramble that we saw in round number 1.
Interesting that Laird decided to throw a high kick on that, you know, because Santana is looking for that leg to take him right back down. And here we go again.
And yep, Laird's hunting.
He's pushing it. He's doing a good job with having that over-under. There he goes. What he needs to do is, you know, Laird needs to find his head position. Oh.
Santana was trying to reverse it and ended up in a bad spot.
Yeah, he's hurt. Yeah, he got hurt. He got rocked bad on that one.
This is a bad punch.
This could be it.
That's
He's running out, and there he goes.
Oh, wow.
What a comeback for Chance Laird.
Wow, what amazing comeback right there.
And, yeah, I think that Santana is still out. Like, they're getting him back to the stool, and he's pretty upset right now. But, yeah, he got rocked pretty hard, and I think he's a bit still out of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, Laird's got a lot of power in there. I mean, and that was just a slip there by Santana. And, man, Laird took advantage of that mistake and won himself a win in this debut.
It was a clean shot, too. You know, Santana tried to get that trip and slipped down, fell to his butt. And instead of bringing his hands up, he put his hands on the ground. And that's when Laird threw an uppercut or a side cross, and it just...
And when he got on top, he did not let go, and Joe Sullivan was right there keeping an eye on Santana and stopped it when it was the appropriate time.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Mahoney, about the power of Laird, I mean, he didn't have a lot of opportunity to get a lot of shots off, but the ones that he was able to throw, they had a lot of sting behind him, and that it put Santana out pretty quickly, considering the shots to the side of the head sometimes take a bit more work to do, but like I said, these are big boys, and those shots had a lot of steam behind him. He finished them off quick. Here's Justin Bernard.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 47 seconds into the second round, referee Joe Sullivan calls a stop to the fight for your winner by TKO, Chance Laird.
In his debut tonight, Chance Laird gets himself the victory. We got another fighter making his debut coming up next against a fighter who is 1-0 in the 145-pound division. Fight night here in Las Vegas rolls on.
Let's bring out the Tough Enough featherweight division. Making their way to the blue corner, Jordan Worth.
So I actually train with Jordan, and
here we go. It's the biased commentary, the collusion in the booth.
Yeah. No, he's a young kid, and he's a purple belt under 10th Planet under Coach Casey, and this guy, he's a game opponent every time.
So he is making his debut tonight. What can you tell us about the way that he approaches his training in the gym? You think he's very ready for this moment?
Yeah, I think he's ready. You know, he's going against, you know, guys all the time. I've rolled with him. Like, he calls me out to roll. He'll call out Uriah Hall to roll. He'll call out Lance Palmer and Joe Benavidez when he shows up to practice.
So you're talking about a guy who weighs 145 pounds calling out you who weighs 40 pounds more than him and is fighting in the UFC, and he's still like,
yeah,
let's go.
He's crafty when he comes to the ground. Like, his jiu-jitsu is very, very crafty, and he comes at different angles.
That's the strongest part of his game, in your opinion?
All day, the strongest part of his game. So if it goes to the ground, you're going to see a very unique style.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about somebody who's got those long limbs that can do something with it. Another 145-pounder who's 6 foot tall.
Able to just create interesting angles at that, you know, height, especially if you're a purple belt at under 10th planet. Man,
let's meet his opponent.
And now making his way to the red corner, Robert Molina.
Robert Molina, 145 pounds, 27 years young, 5'7". Phoenix, Arizona is the hometown. Fights out of Tucson, Arizona at Apex MMA. Does have a fight to his credit. Got a victory in that fight back in August of 2018 via TKO. Has been in mixed martial arts since he was 17 years old. A decade ago he got into this, and now making the walk to the cage. Not a lot of experience under his belt, but so far it is unblemished. Said he's worked really hard, did a lot of sparring, a lot of running. Doesn't know a lot about his opponent other than he's from 10th Planet, so he's going to be good. I like that he's just, you know, the gym precedes itself with its reputation. He is a carpenter by day, loves to play guitar and read and draw, and then, of course, fight. So tonight, he gets an opportunity to do one of his favorite things.
Yeah, so that's great. You know, what's good about Robert is he's coming in at 1-0, and that actually gives you a super amount of confidence going against somebody that made their debut. You already understand the gym behind it from 10th Planet being a jiu-jitsu school, so you know, all right, the number one thing I do not want to do is try to go to the ground. So he's probably been practicing a lot on his cage work, his defense on takedowns as well. So I would love to see what he's going to bring out.
Again, at 145 pounds, this night is just blazing away. We've already got, this is our 14th fight of the evening, and we have seen a lot of really high-level mixed martial arts from even the guys that are making their debut or guys that have a couple of fights on their record like Robert Molina does. Now he makes his way into the cage, and we are set to go in the featherweight division. Here's Justin.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the Tough Enough featherweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, making his Tough Enough debut tonight, fighting out of 10th Planet, Las Vegas, Nevada, Jordan Word. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding an amateur record of 1 victory, 0 defeats, fighting out of Apex, Tucson, Arizona, Robert Molina. The referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Chris Tione.
A lot of fans here tonight for Jordan Worth.
He is wearing the straight black trunks. Robert Molina is wearing the multicolored trunks. 3 2-minute rounds. And we are underway. Inside leg kick right out of the gate from Molina.
Molina landed a lot of leg kicks early on. Interesting that he decides to take a purple belt down, and this could be over real quick.
Oh, boy, he's got the arm. It's extended. Oh, man.
It's a tough position.
Molina refusing to tap. Still not out of the woods yet. That arm is getting cranked.
Oh, that's
Oh, he managed to get away from it.
Wow.
He's got to run there.
Another inside leg kick there.
Good job by Molina, you know, defending that arm bar and as well getting out of the guard of
Jordan. I don't think we're going to see Molina take Jordan down again.
No.
Oh, what a shot.
Jordan eats it well, though.
Yeah, but he's got to keep his hands up. I mean, I know that he's making his debut tonight, and the game plan is to get to the ground, but he doesn't want to go to the ground seeing stars.
Yeah, it's not good to, you know, have your hands down. You definitely don't have a guard to block any of the punches except for your face, and that does not help you out.
And Molina's being creative with the striking, too. You know, he's coming at him from all directions right now.
Yeah, you know, he's throwing some spinning heel kicks. I think he's just throwing him to throw. But it still adds up because you never know. It could be a spinning back fist. It could be an actual punch.
Another big shot that just rocks the head of Worth back.
Those Superman punches are definitely getting through. I would like to see Jordan start trying to put some combinations or answer right after those kicks instead of just letting the punch or kick land.
Molina, I mean, he's chopping down those legs. I mean, Worth is very tall, and those leg kicks are going to certainly take their toll if this fight continues going the way that it is.
Yeah, the hand speed of Molina looks to be superior, at least here in round number 1. He's finding a home for those punches much, much quicker.
Yeah, without a doubt, the hand speed is a lot faster, and they're coming with bad intentions where Jordan is throwing, you know, the combinations, but it's almost like he's like just putting it out there to put it out there.
Yeah, I'd like to see him close the distance. I want to see him, you know, get closer to Molina. You know, I mean, even though he's the longer fighter, Molina is the faster fighter, and obviously with his jiu-jitsu pedigree, you know, that
he slapped that on so fast. So when he got to the ground,
it was unreal.
Yeah, I mean, like you got to think that Molina is going to do everything he can just to keep circling and keep striking because he's clearly winning that battle with relative ease. But the second that fight went to the ground, it was almost over.
Well, the speed difference between him on his feet and versus slapping on that submission was like night and day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
yeah, you can tell that Jordan Worth has spent so much time on the ground, but his hand speed appears slow compared to Molina, and he's not keeping his hands up, which is a big problem for him. He's getting his head snapped back.
If I was in, you know, Jordan's corner, I'd tell him, hey, pull guard, or, you know, roll across the cage and grab his legs.
Yeah.
Like, literally roll. Like, no one's ever going to see that happening, but just try to take him down. Figure out a way. Because your strong point is the ground.
Yeah, I mean, he's throwing these like wheel kicks, and Jordan's just kind of taking it and then waiting. You know, he's not attacking in those moments, going for the takedown.
I mean, Molina's coming at him, but you know, Jordan's height does give him a pretty distinct advantage, you know, to avoid kicks like that.
Yeah, you know.
And Molina, he doesn't seem to be afraid of the takedown, though, throwing all these crazy wheel kicks and everything else. It's really flashy, but it also very much exposes you. But he's not really worried about the takedown, it seems, of Worth. But here you go. Worth now starting to light him up a bit.
What's actually really interesting is if you look at Molina's eyes when he's out there at range, he actually will look down and throw something high, or he's trying to.
Worth's not afraid of Molina's power. Called him out, said, bring it. Ate a jab and just pushing forward.
Yeah, I mean,
he's eating a lot of punches.
Congratulations, you have a chin, but do you want to win the fight? That's the real question. That landed perfect.
Superman punch finds its way home again.
It was like a Superman jab right there.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Molina just lost his mouthpiece. Chris Tione calls the time. And here we go again. Yeah, I would really like to see Worth try to get this fight to the ground. I mean, when you have that kind of arsenal in your back pocket, you know, why aren't you using it?
Yeah, I think he's just trying to, you know, again, it's the amateur ranks. He's just
making his debut, yeah.
You're right. Trying to have fun. And as you can see, like, he knows he's good on the ground. He knows he can win on the ground. Why not test yourself standing up? Or do you really want the win? That's the question, so.
Maybe he likes getting hit in the face.
Maybe he does.
Some people do. And, I mean, he's pushing forward.
This is such a crazy fight. Like, I love everything about this.
Dude, he just clipped Molina right there, though.
I know, it's just such a slobber knocker, and it's, you know, technically not really that sound, but these guys are just going nuts, and they seem to have so little regard for each other's power, and it's just like drop your hands and swing for the fences.
I think.
That clip. He caught him, and then he caught him back.
I think Worth won that round.
Yeah,
nuts.
I think it might be 1-1.
Yeah,
you know,
I think Worth won that round.
I'm going to be honest with you right now. I
Fight
told
fans,
you at the
don't forget,
beginning.
April 6th, we are back at it again at the Orleans, right here in the ballrooms. Tickets, $25, toughenough.com, orleanscasino.com. We'll see you right back here April 6th with the future stars of MMA, Tough Enough.
Yeah, just want to make sure, you guys, April 6th, we have another one, Tough Enough, at the Orleans. But
Cannot wait.
I'm going to let you guys know, Jordan does not care. Like, as you see, he doesn't care. And he's going to try what he can to do. I would like for him this round to try something to get it to the ground to win the fight. You know, we see that you're tough. We see that you can go and push the pace. Let's see your ground. Let's see you pull out in the third round and get the victory.
You know, we're seeing his strike when he goes on a roll. You know, he's following up those combinations. You know, when we were in the first round, we were seeing 1 and 2 shots. You know, but once he starts to land, that's when you see that like killer instinct move forward, and that's when he starts throwing 3, 4, 5 shots and really moving forward against Molina. And I feel like that's what gave him that second round. But like Dave mentioned, this is a fun, weird fight that is
just, yeah.
two guys who are early in their careers, just putting on a show for everybody here tonight.
We're seeing a bunch of different combinations.
Here he goes again, man.
Why not?
Worth just like, let's go. Oh, boy.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
This is Molina does pull guard.
But Jordan's, man, those long arms are just, he's able to hit Molina.
He's not even going for the submission, though. He just wants to punch him out,
Yeah.
When you said he don't give a damn, you weren't kidding. Like, he's just going for it.
I mean, there he goes. He's going to try to.
If he can pop out of this, maybe get into half guard.
It looks like he's interested in that back.
Oh, right there. It's a bad position. See how as Jordan had the arm trapped? That would have been a bad situation for Molina. But what Molina needs to do is unleash his guard because he's holding his guard there. That means he's accepting guard. When you open it up, he's trying to get up. He's trying to move. But you see, every time he gets up, Jordan's attacking that wrist to try to trap it behind his arm.
Just digging that shoulder into the neck of Molina, too. I mean, just he's so tall. He can create just weird angles even while in the guard of Molina.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting points right now, but is it enough? See right there, he's got the arm trapped behind his back, so now he can actually use his left arm to throw combinations and land some pretty devastating punches to the head of Molina.
Doesn't have a ton of time to work here, though. This is one of the challenges of these 2-minute rounds. You got to work fast.
Yeah, we're 40 minutes remaining, and, I would like for Jordan to, pass the guard right now and attempt to, get the submission or get the victory, as well as I would like to see Molina open up his guard and attempt to stand up as try it. But if you're accepting guard, you're not going to win. You're hoping that you got two rounds to none right now.
So it's down to the final 10 seconds as of right now. Jordan Worth remains in the top position. This round number 3 has certainly been a good one for him. Round number 2 was close, but it could have gone his way. What will the judges say now that it's all said and done?
It's a close fight for sure.
Jordan definitely took round number 3.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Round number 1, I think, definitely went to Molina.
And round 2 is the toss-up that we're looking at. I mean, I wouldn't be upset with a split. I think Jordan, if I had to make a decision right now, I think Jordan did enough to take it. But this was a close fight and a fun fight. And, this is what amateur mixed martial arts about, Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Jordan had a little bit better of the cardio coming into the third round, where I thought in the second round Molina started dying out.
I think we see Molina has a fight under his belt, and this is the first time that we saw Jordan Worth in a cage, and I think he progressively got better each round that we saw him in there. He got a little bit more comfortable. He was used to, and this is full on getting punched in the face. He welcomed it a couple times during that second round as well, but a fun fight from these two guys. Both of them have nothing to be ashamed for, and they put on a hell of a show for us tonight.
Yeah, that's when the fight really got fun to me, is when they both just dropped their hands and they're like, hit me in the face. Oh, hit me in the face. And back and forth they went, and it just turned into this kind of free-for-all.
Definitely a bold strategy, but as you can see, it sounds like the fans loved the fight as well.
Sure they did.
He said
Very rarely do you hear this much cheering as you go to a decision, right?
Yeah.
Justin Bernard has the decision. Let's hear it right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a 3-round war, we go to the judges' scorecards for your winner by split decision. The red corner, Robert Molina.
Hometown crowd not happy with that decision, but...
Yeah, and Jordan Worth has a look on his face of, he's pretty disappointed, so...
He clearly won that third round, but that second round on 2 judges' scorecards went to Molina.
Well, that's the thing, as I told you earlier in the night, you do not let 3 people decide your fate. Like, you have the superior jiu-jitsu. You had him on the ground for the last, 2 minutes of the fight. It was his job to try to get the finish, and it happens.
Now making his way to the blue corner, Matt Caudill.
So Matt Caudill is kind of making his debut tonight, if that makes sense. He's got 0 wins, 0 losses, and 1 no contest. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty intense walkout right now. With that mohawk and the music, it definitely.
Yeah, I feel like we're in like Norway.
Yeah, it's intimidating. Yeah, we're definitely at a hardcore punk concert right now, or a heavy metal concert for sure.
36 years old, 6 foot tall, reach of 78 inches, tipping the scales at 142.3. So this one will take place in a catchweight division. Fighting styles, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and kickboxing, is on Team Resistance, has been in mixed martial arts for 13 years, so finally deciding that he is going to give this another go after that first fight was a no contest, but been at it for a long time, says he's been focused on his conditioning, getting ready, training for his next fight, and he says he's a family man when he's not worried about getting into the cage and mixing it up, but tonight, that's what it's all about. George St. Pierre is his favorite fighter of all time, a lot of techniques, always on top of his fights, and George St. Pierre obviously this week calling it a career, what a storied career he had, so him looking up to GSP, curious to see if he'll emulate any of that style tonight as he steps in and tries to get himself the very first victory of his career.
Absolutely. Here we go.
And now making his way to the red corner, Tyler Cates.
Tyler Cates is the antithesis of the dude that we just saw walk out. Looks like Jesus wearing a Superman shirt, you know, like even the walkout music itself.
It's weird. He's an independent fighter, does his own thing. Got a little Conor McGregor, Vince McMahon action going on.
Mr. Sacco, let's go.
I don't know if that's his trainer or if that's just a dude that was partying down at the casino that he found and wearing some beads, said, hey, you want to walk out with me? Either way, man.
You know what I like more about the independent fighters is we had another one on the card is that they try things that most people won't. And it's hard to train for someone that is going out of the box and out of the open. So I feel like we're going to have some unique style, especially for him being later on in the card. There must be a secret to him.
And you look at him and kind of has a resemblance to Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny fame.
Yeah, he does. He is a framer by occupation. Said that he really likes Conor McGregor for his story and ambition. So that's where we get the little nod there in the walkout. Says his job is fairly physical, so mainly just cardio and breaking his own personal records is how he's been training for this one. But yeah, two very different looking individuals in the same cage set to square off tonight in the 140-pound catchweight division.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in a tough enough catchweight bout at 140 pounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record of 0 victories, 0 defeats, and 1 no contest. Fighting out of Team Resistance, Idaho Falls, Idaho, Matt Cadill. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding an amateur record of 0 victories, 1 defeat. Fighting independently out of Santa Rosa, California, Tyler Cates. Referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Joe Sullivan.
Caudill is wearing the black trunks. Cates is wearing the white trunks. 3 2-minute rounds. We are underway. 15th fight of the night here at the Orleans in Las Vegas. Fast start, slugging it out.
Cates just moving forward.
And Caudill kind of grabbed the fence there.
Joe Sullivan will not tolerate that.
No, he will not. Jockeying for position early on.
See Caudill maybe try to get that leg in there, maybe look for a toss. It's kind of a stalemate right now. There it is. Cates trying to post up.
Doing a good job using that fence to try to get his position back to the standing. And
there he goes. Caudill not giving up on the takedown, still trying to scoop that leg out. And drags his opponent to the ground. Almost has the back. Does have the back.
Joe Sullivan, told you, does not tolerate fence grabbing and does not give Caudill that position.
Big takedown there from Caudill.
Oh, he's got
Cates
that. He's got
snags
that
the
neck.
head.
Oh,
Caudill pops the head out.
Yeah, Caudill being so tall, you know. Able
and
to just,
lanky.
Yep.
It definitely helped him out, but it looks like Cates is a little bit more comfortable on the ground. Oh,
Caudill got the
jumping right
back.
back to the back.
This is going to be bad. That's deep.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's under the chin or not.
He's holding his arm, you know. So
Yeah,
he's hand fighting. He's actually landing a decent amount of shots right there
Yep.
as Caudill looks for that choke. But if he loses the control of that hand, this could be real dangerous for Cates.
Yeah. You know, it would have been better if Cates
the
would
round.
have flattened his back out instead of roll to his belly. That could cost him later in the rounds if that happens again.
Interesting first round from these two.
Yeah, I mean, I give the round obviously to Caudill there, who finished it in threatening to potentially finish the fight.
Well, Caudill's got to watch himself. If he grabs that cage again, he's going to lose a point.
Yeah, that one thing I would like to see Caudill come out is I'd like to see him establish his jab instead of kind of getting a little wild.
Yeah, I
with
mean,
it.
he has that reach.
He does. He has that reach, and I feel like Cates is actually pulling his punches back and trying to close the distance because he wants to clinch, but he's also looking for that right hand, or should I say his left hand.
It's like Cates very accurate while being choked, punching Caudill in the head from we saw in the replay right there. Not doing a whole lot of damage, but certainly annoying him. Did you ever see Last Man on, Last Man on Earth with on Fox? Again, Matt Caudill and Taylor Cates. He just looks like he could be one of these men just walking the earth with nobody else around at post-apocalyptic. I can't remember the actor's name, though. But
He's like the one guy that survives.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's like MMA fighting. So easy a caveman can do it.
Oh, wow.
that was
Cates
good.
comes in banging.
Yeah, I thought for a moment there he may have caught him with a low blow, but I guess Caudill is just going to fight through it, and back to the ground they go.
I don't like how Cates keeps holding on to the neck. He did this earlier when the takedown happened, even though Caudill grabbed the cage, but I don't like that.
He's got the full mount, so now he's just got to posture up, and he can start to rain down some punches. Plenty of time to work here with 90 seconds on the clock in round number 2.
Well, but Cates rolls out. Well, but Caudill.
He kind of stepped off of it. It was kind of strange.
I don't know if that was the power of Cates to rotate or if that was Caudill just not really knowing what he was doing right there. Okay.
Interesting knee attacks. I mean, this is something you usually don't see from a position like this, right? When a guy's in side control, like looking for that crank.
It is. And, Cates has the possibility. If Cates would just loop his leg into Caudill's between his legs and hook his own leg, he has the back already.
Yeah.
So all he needs to do, instead of throwing that knee, throw that heel over the front and just kind of pull yourself out to take it. Because he's
close.
I mean, he's right there.
And what's interesting is that Caudill is really cranking on this neck with almost no chance of being able to finish the fight from that position. It just seems like he's spending a lot of energy.
Yeah, he's just hanging
Cates
out.
looks like he's going to get his back right here.
There it goes right there.
And he's
got
on
his
top.
back.
And
And
pop his head out, and it's coming.
he's going in for the mount, actually, because it looks like Caudill's churning. There it is. Now all he needs to do, it looks like Caudill is tired.
Yeah.
He is tired. He's not trying to shrimp out right here.
A lot of
This
punches
could be
being
bad.
thrown. Joe
One
may
more is
stop
gonna
this.
stop
That's
it.
it.
Gonna call it.
That is it. Tyler Cates gets the victory. What a comeback in round number 2. Figures out how to get it done. Just guts his way through it. And like you said, Julian waited for Caudill to just sort of gas himself out, capitalized. Really nicely done.
Will Forte and Last Man on Earth is who I
There
was
it is.
looking for.
There it is.
Telling you, he could dead ringer and walks away with a victory tonight.
It's because he was the last man on earth training the other day,
Nice.
making his personal achievements and pushing himself day by day.
You know, he held in there, even when he was in some precarious positions, he just kept throwing things at Caudill, and Caudill eventually tired out, and then Cates just laid it on there at the end. Ground and pound, walks away with the victory in this second round.
Yeah, Caudill was hanging on to that head and arm when he was on top with no intentions to, progress
For
or
just
to
too
change
long.
it.
He just blew his arms out,
Yeah.
just gassed himself out.
So
Well, congratulations to Tyler Cates. Here's the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after a minute 48 in the second round, referee Joe Sullivan calls a stop to the fight for your winner by TKO, Tyler Gates.
It's real cool to see that both of these athletes came from different states to come here to compete inside the octagon of Tough Enough.
All over the country, all over the world. This is the premier amateur mixed martial arts championship, and
yeah, we see people coming all the way from New Zealand and exotic places
Yeah.
like that. It's really cool to see. Got 2 more fights to go. Let's get at them.
And now making his way to the blue corner, Andrew Gonzalez.
Andrew Gonzalez, 5'7", 135 pounds, 29 years old, and starting out with some heavy music as he makes the walk. He is from just up the road in Pahrump, Nevada. Fighting style he lists as karate, interestingly enough. You don't see that a lot. Got into mixed martial arts back in 2015, so has been after it for about 4 years now. He said physical, mental, and psychological training has got him ready for this one. Knows his opponent wants to beat him up.
training with Dragon Cloud Dojo.
You know, that's one thing I like that he said is psychological training. That is huge. Your mental game inside of the fight is very, very, it's the most important thing because you can lose it. That's what Conor McGregor did at the highest level. He was getting inside of people's heads before the fight happened.
I mean, sports psychology has become a real thing over the last, 10 years, at every level on every sport. You can have all the physical attributes in the world, but if you're just not there in the moment mentally, you can lose. Doesn't matter how good of an athlete you are.
Agreed.
His occupation is a youth leadership development coordinator. And outside of fighting, he likes to do anything that stimulates his mind in a healthy manner.
And now making his way to the red corner, Broxton Salguero.
Broxton Salguero is making his debut tonight. Another one of these fighters from One Fight Team that's going to have a loud and boisterous crowd. And another one making the debut, so we've seen a lot of One Fight Team's new fighters rolling out this evening. He is just 19 years old. Tips the scales at 135 pounds as well, 5'8". Also looks up to Conor McGregor, but he has real aspirations to take this thing to the next level. He wants to go pro. He wants to fight in the UFC. And he is getting a quick jump on it again. 19 years old, got into mixed martial arts a couple of years ago when he was 17, back in January of 2017. Here he is 2 years later, making his debut, stepping into the Tough Enough cage tonight in our co-main event.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. 19 years old, coming out to Tough Enough to make your debut. That's how you got to start your career, man. You want to come out, you want to start performing at a young age because at least in the next 5 years, he's going to know, is this something he wants to go on?
At what age did you know that you wanted to be a pro?
I started wrestling when I was a kid, and I kind of did training in backyard styles when I was like 18 while still going into college and stuff, but they wouldn't allow you to fight. So when I got out 2 years earlier and went straight in at 20 years old, went in, had 3 months of training, had my first fight, and then just kept going over and over. It's the best way to do it because when I hit 23, I knew exactly this is who I am and this is where I want to be.
Yeah, and figuring that out at 23 instead of, 29, 30 years old, a huge advantage. Let's get the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 two-minute rounds in the Tough Enough Bantamweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record, 0 victories, 2 defeats, fighting at a Dragon Cloud Dojo, Las Vegas, Nevada, Andrew Gonzalez. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, making his Tough Enough debut tonight, fighting out of One Fight Team, Las Vegas, Nevada, Broxton Salguero. Your referee in charge of the action inside the cage is Chris Tione.
10 years separates these two between Andrew Gonzalez. He's wearing the red and the black. Broxton Salguero is making his debut tonight, is wearing the red and the gold. 3 two-minute rounds. We are underway.
Ooh, that was a powerful leg kick by Salguero.
I mean, he's looking pretty crisp so far.
Yeah, he's got the tie shorts. Definitely looks like he has a Muay Thai background.
Well, but Gonzalez lands a nice jab there.
Oh, yeah.
But Salguero comes firing right back.
I like how Salguero is throwing combinations together, and through his combination set up his takedown attempts. But you see that Gonzalez is hooking the back leg as Salguero is trying to lift him up. That's causing him not to get that suplex.
Yeah, Salguero right now positioning up, landing some big punches, raining down that leather. Gonzalez trying to cover up, but he's actually eating a lot of these. So Chris Taione watching closely. He is intelligently defending himself right now, but these are a number of punches getting through, and Chris Taione keeping a very close eye on this. He's taking a step forward.
Yeah, but Gonzalez kicks out for a second there, but Salguero's rolling him and just landing punches while he's doing it.
I think that, Salguero's doing a good job of not burning himself out with those punches.
Transitions,
Great
takes the back, very smooth.
Great, putting the hook in. I like how he's getting his positions before he let goes of anything to try to throw the ground and pound.
Flattens him out. This is going to be it.
This is a dangerous position right there.
Can he do it in less than 20 seconds? He's going to have to. Oh, yeah.
Looks like he's under the neck. There's the tap.
Broxton Salguero in his debut gets a first-round victory. Made easy work of his opponent. Very impressive at just 19 years old.
Yeah, for sure. The combinations that he threw prior to getting the takedown, to his knowledge on the ground and not punching himself out, that definitely shows a lot of potential.
At 19 years old, training with Juan Fight Team, his ground game looked good. He looked crisp with a little bit of that Muay Thai action we saw at the beginning part of that round.
Great striking, very smooth transitions, and what you said, Julian, about just how patient he was for a kid at 19 making his debut. Just very deliberate with what he was doing. You can tell that he knew exactly where he wanted to go with things, but not rushing it when you don't have any experience says something about the quality time he's put into the gym. Here it is. So he's got the back at this point. As you mentioned, Mahoney, he flattened him out. You called it. This is going to be it. I was questioning whether or not he would have enough time to do it, and it was, he just slips it right in.
Yep.
Yeah, just whoop, right there, and it's all done. Like, that was a tight choke from that moment. Here's Justin.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute, 46 seconds into the first round, referee Chris Taione calls a stop to the fight for your winner by tap out to the rear naked choke, Broxton Salguero.
I feel like Braxton had a couple Muay Thai fights, prior to doing his MMA fights and a couple little boxing, because a lot of his striking was crisp. And to answer your question earlier, I think he realized that this is what he wants to do as a career.
Yeah, exciting to watch him. We got one more fight to go. Let's meet our final two to make the walk tonight.
And now on to the Tough Enough featherweight division. Making his way to the blue corner, Desmond Manabat.
Desmond Manabat is somebody that we have seen compete a good amount of times here in Tough Enough, and he is a whole lot of fun to watch compete. Featherweight fighter at 20 years old. He is a freestyle fighter. Record of 2-2. Got into mixed martial arts back when he was 18, so just a couple of years ago. He's only 20 years old. Knows his opponent is a great wrestler, says he's been getting ready, doing a bunch of boxing, a bunch of cardio. Wants to be in a professional organization in the next 5 years, competing at a high level, making a whole bunch of money. Loves to hang out with his family and friends. And he is a lifeguard and pool attendant by day, which I'm sure gives him plenty of time to think about strategy, because being a lifeguard, while it seems glamorous thanks to shows like Baywatch, are very boring. Nothing happens. You just sit there.
Behind the scenes.
Is that what it is?
Exciting.
Yeah.
And Desmond Manaban, training with Las Vegas Krav Maga, he's really made, quite an impact, which is why he's our final fight tonight. Always an exciting fighter. Something new every time we see him step into the cage, and looking forward to seeing him again here at the Tough Enough Fighting Championships.
Yeah, and we will start we'll finish how we started. Nick Diaz being one of his favorite fighters. We had a few of those guys calling out the Diaz brothers earlier on in the show. Max Holloway, Jose Aldo also making the list. And looks up to Kobe Bryant for his athletic prowess.
That's actually pretty good. Someone outside of fighting, you know.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a Mamba mentality that captures, you know, to be one of his famous or favorite people to look up to.
Desmond Montebat, in our final fight of the evening, has officially entered the Tough Enough cage.
And now the last fighter to walk out tonight, to the red corner, Sean Francis.
Sean Francis, the last man to make the walk, 32 years old at 142 pounds, so a couple of pounds shy. Has a record of 3-1. Says that he has been watching Tough since season 1, and that's when he got into mixed martial arts.
Oh, that's
season 1. How many years ago is that?
Oh, that's whenever
Like
Bonner and Griffin were in
those
it.
Chris
So.
Cleveland and Josh Koscheck, all those guys.
Dude, that's
At
way
least 12
back.
years ago, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
at least 12, 13 years
Yeah.
ago. That happened here over at the Cox Pavilion.
Yep.
Here in Las Vegas, just right across town. I mean, that really helped put the UFC on the map as well. You know, one of those, you know, milestone moments for the sport of mixed martial arts.
Well, it made a legion of fans, too, because that season was just so awesome, and there was a ton of adrenaline and crazy stuff happening in the house.
Yeah.
And it was the first time being live, you know, a season of fighters live.
Right.
And the heart that Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner showed in that final fight won millions of fans over.
You know, the UFC actually paid to be on Spike TV for that as a time buy.
Yeah.
And they had to buy the time because they believed in the product, but everyone else was like, what is this fighting nonsense that you're going to try to peddle? And then just huge ratings, obviously. And then they're like, let's reimagine that contract.
30 seasons
Yeah,
later
30
now
seasons
or something
later,
like that. Yeah.
It's wild, but he is making the walk into the cage. Furious Sean Francis. Here we go with the main event.
Ladies and gentlemen, our last bout of the evening is scheduled for 3 2-minute rounds in the Tough Enough featherweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, holding an amateur record, 2 victories, 2 defeats. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Krav Maga, Las Vegas, Nevada, Desmond Montebat. His opponent stands across the cage in the red corner, holding a record of 3 victories, 1 defeat, fighting out of Syndicate MMA and Dewey Cooper, Las Vegas, Nevada, Sean Francis. Referee in charge inside the cage, Chris Tione.
Good amount of people hanging out through all 17 fights tonight. Pretty vocal crowd, and we see these guys coming in fast.
Oh, nice little head kick by Montebat against the cage. And hip toss.
Yep,
Oof.
hip toss ends up in top position in the half guard right now of Sean Francis. Now he's transitioned to the mount. He's got the back.
Is Francis going to be able to sneak out of this? But Montebat gets his hooks in. Now he's got his back. Tough position there against the cage, but he's sneaking that arm under.
Francis doing a good job of fighting the hands right now. But Francis needs to get his back. There he goes.
Yeah, but Montebat just continues to jockey for position and is just putting it on Francis right now.
Oh, that
He
that
drops
looks
down.
deep. Oh,
He slipped out.
Yeah, it looked like he may actually have an opportunity to try to finish that one, but Francis manages to pop his head out. Now Francis in the closed guard of Desmond Montebat.
you know, and again, like I said, with the closed guards, that means you're accepting the position, and with a minute left, you want to try to get the round. So open up your guard, shrimp your hips, try to get out, try to stand up, or try to throw up a submission.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Montebat try to go for a submission as we
There
see
it goes.
right
There
here.
it
He's got
is.
the triangle in.
Triangle. Triangle's
Oh,
nice.
he pops out. Francis pops out, but he's got his arm now.
Still got the arm, but it's going to be really tough to do anything with it from there. But now you see the scrambling continues. Now Francis has the back of Montebat.
Yeah, it's dangerous as well because Francis actually has Montebat's arm trapped underneath. Up.
He's turning.
Yeah, he's got it. We got 20 seconds to go, and Montebat's on top. Francis down below.
Montebat takes a look at the time, decides to drop some ground and pound.
Final 10 seconds here of round number one.
Good job by both fighters.
Yeah, they're both very wily on the
Gotta give a very special shout out to the guy up top in the DJ booth making all that noise. You can catch him on the gram at $1 Billion Beard. He is DJ E-Dot.
I believe right there that, you know, Montebat took the round. He ended on top. He started on top, ended on top. Has actually been doing great positioning on there. I think Francis in this one needs to, like, hey, you need to calm down, quit trying to rush, start setting your punches up, and then go for the takedown. Set your takedown up to get on top, and then
both these fighters saw they were in tough positions in that first round, and we both saw them scramble and able to get out of those and mount some offense of their own. That was, I think, it was a good first round for both fighters. The feeling out process, you know, they're getting to know each other, and I think we're going to see an exciting second round here.
2 more minutes on the clock. Francis wearing the camo, Montebat wearing the red and the black. We are underway. Fast start to round number 2. So much for not rushing.
Yeah. Montebat has a really good hip, so
Yep.
he's lifting Francis up each time.
He's got a hold of that neck, but Francis looks like he's going to pull his leg back and doesn't seem to be in a whole lot of danger right now, does he?
No,
pops it out.
So right here, this is where Francis should just, you know, hip in, posture up, put Montebat's head against the cage, and kind of throw a few punches to open up the guard, and then from there to try to pass.
Montebat did threaten that triangle in the first round. Maybe that's you know, why Francis is being cautious here. Doesn't want to get caught in a submission.
Yeah,
especially while on top.
Without a doubt, but having his head against the corner or away from the cage is going to give him more of the opportunity to throw those legs up. As you see, there it is. There it is, the triangle again. Francis trying to come out the backside.
That shoulder there is, oh, he's turning.
Oh, man.
This is nasty.
This looks really uncomfortable.
Yeah, he gets out, though, and
steps right over.
There he goes.
Deal with a little bit of comfort and end up in a position of power.
So right here, you know you're going to take a couple punches. Montebat needs to put his hands on Francis' hips and hip high and shrimp and move and try to get one leg free.
I mean, Francis is throwing, and we're seeing Montebat try to buck him off, but, I mean, he's sitting heavy, high on his chest.
And he's landing a lot of punches, too. So, I mean, Montebat's doing a nice job of covering up, but it's starting to get less and less of a deliberate cover-up as he just eats more and more of these punches. And I don't know if he's going to let this go on for another 15 seconds. Chris Tione is warning him right now, and Francis trying to put him away. Can he do it here? It's down to the final 10 seconds.
Oh,
and Francis
crucifix
going
style.
for the crucifix. Final seconds. Oh, man. That is the end of round number 2.
Good.
He was saved by the bell in that spot there because a couple more of those punches. Oh, this could be it.
I don't know if they should let him go.
Montebat is.
He is.
I think he's tired. I don't think he's hurt. I think he's more tired than anything. As you can see, he's trying to get his breathing back. This is the thing. When Montebat's down, he was down on his back, and he was trying to buck straight up in the air. He wasn't trying to buck and then turn. He was just trying to throw him up, which you can ride on top of that and not be put off.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Tione taking a look, making sure that he's going to be able to continue. Obviously, fighter safety is paramount here in the Tough Enough Fighting Championships.
Yeah, I think you're right, though, Julian. I mean, I don't know how hurt he is. He just looks totally gassed.
Yeah, it's fatigue. That's all it is.
His corner just straight up.
Fight fans, make some noise for the third and final round
Francis
of
looks
the
very,
night.
very ready to go. He looks.
Francis is ready. He looks ready. He's
jumping
bouncing around.
Yeah.
You can tell his cardio is on point.
Dude,
Montebat's
I think
kind of.
Montebat is basically mentally given up at this point, unless
he can barely stand, man. He is exhausted.
And that right there is just bringing up ultra confidence to Francis right now. So right here is where Francis, what do you decide to do? Are you going to go for the takedown to get the finish, or are you just going to try to throw hands?
You rush in early. I mean,
Yeah.
when you see your opponent like that, you want to get this done quick.
Oh, almost caught him there.
Oh, he did catch him.
Oh, big slam. Nice job by Francis. Just elevates, trying to step over again. This, I can't imagine, is going to go on for nearly as long as it did last time because Francis is just teeing off, and that's
It's
it.
over.
Chris Tione steps in. Sean Francis gets the victory. Great work by him. You know, round number one, it was anyone's round, just back and forth they went. But you look at the conditioning of Sean Francis, and he gets a victory with ease in round number 3.
Yeah, the grappling situation in the first round definitely tired Manabat out to where you saw it in the second round, and he was gassed. And then now the third round, he couldn't answer it.
Manabat took a lot of damage in that second round. You know, when Francis was sitting heavy on top of him and, like I said, trying to buck him off, that's just expelling tons of energy. And the more conditioned fighter comes off with the victory tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Manabat is always a whole lot of fun to watch compete, and he didn't let us down tonight, certainly, when it comes to that. He came in there very game to fight and compete, but you're right, the conditioning of Francis is just a whole lot to deal with. I mean, you can tell he's got, like, negative 3% body fat. I mean, the guy just, came out with bad intentions, and it worked. So excellent job by Sean Francis getting himself the victory tonight in our final of 17 bouts. Manabat's still on the stool right now. It looks like he's gotten his win back a little bit. Justin Bernard is in the cage with the winners to make the official announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 19 seconds into the third round, referee Chris Taione calls a stop to the fight for your winner by TKO, Sean Francis. On behalf of the Orleans, Norton National, Tough Enough, and all of our amazing sponsors, thank you so much for coming out tonight to the Orleans for your future stars of MMA. We know you could be anywhere on a Friday night. We'll see you back here April 6th. Get your tickets online. Have a great weekend. Good night.
Gentlemen, it has been nothing short of an honor. It's been a whole lot of fun. Julian, having you in the booth was great. Fantastic analysis. Hope you will join us again soon, my friend.
Thank you guys very much for having me. I appreciate it and had a fun night tonight.
Alongside Julian Marquez and Jason Mahoney, I'm Dave Farah. Thank you so much for watching Tough Enough, the future stars of MMA.